It's 8:06. Roll call. Richard?
Here.
Joe?
Here.
Felix?
Here.
Crystal?
Here.
And that's the here. Proof of notice. Shows that it was on the 13th of October. Okay. Before we continue, I would like to make a motion to readjust the budget, the agenda here. The new business, number one. Number one would be 4.
Just change 3 and 4.
I'm sorry.
3 and 4. Make 4, 3, and 3, 4.
What was the same?
The number one would be 4.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Number 1 would stay like that.
Okay.
Number 2 would be 4. Number 3 would be, number 3 would be 3, and number 4 would be, number 3 would be 2, and number 4 would be 3. Number 4 to 3,
Okay, so,
number 2
okay,
to
so
4.
1 will be 1, number 2 will become number 4, number 3 will become number 2,
Number 3 would become number 4.
and number 4 will be number 3.
I'm sorry.
You want to
Let me-
do number 3 will be number 4 will be number 2, number 3 will be number 3, and number 2 is going to come down and be number 4,
Okay.
right?
No, well, hold on. I'm sorry.
You want to do
Sorry.
just don't do numbers. You want to do the vote first for the election for the 90 days.
Richard, you allow me, please?
Okay.
Okay, just allow me. Number 1 will be number 1. The work on the budget, that will be number 4.
Number 4. Number 3,
Number 3 will be what we have as number 4 here.
number 3 will become number 2.
No, number 2.
Number 3 will become number 2,
two.
and number 4 will become number 3.
And number 3 will stay as is. Remember, number 4, we can replace work the budget. So let me go over that again. The motion is
Motion will be
to rearrange the new business points. Number 1 will be number 1.
number 1 is 1.
Number 2 will be number 4, which is the termination.
Will be 4.
Number 3 will be number 3.
3 will be 3.
And number 2 will become number 4.
4, 3, and 4.
2 will be 4. So 1, 1, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Okay?
So 1, no, you will be number 3. 2 will be number
Let me go over that again.
1 is first.
No, this I was looking this 4.
3 is
This
3
one
first.
This one is, this second, this third.
It will be 1, 4, 3, 2.
1, 4, 3, 2.
Exactly. That
1, 4, 3, 2.
second?
We have a second.
Wait a second.
Been properly second by Joe.
Joseph?
Question?
Say aye.
Aye.
All of those in favor, say aye.
Motion passed.
So moved. Now, going back up, approval of minutes. Everybody had a chance to review that? Okay, and the. Do anyone see any correction that need to be done? I do see a correction that needs to be updated, which will be a financial report. If I'm not mistaken, Richard had some comments that he wanted the financial to be updated that had to do with the reserve and making sure that all the items that when we sign a check that the cost goes to that particular item.
Well,
That was the previous meeting, which it was corrected.
That was the
Was
previous.
this last one was correct?
Yes.
Richard, I thought this
Well, I'm a little confused because we didn't have a meeting last month.
no, previous.
But I think
Right.
where I had that was 2 meetings ago, I'm not sure. Could have been, because since we didn't have one last month,
Well, we have it in, we didn't have one, right.
it was like 2 months ago, you're
We
right.
had it in August, and I know you mentioned something like that.
You know, the issue was the reserve was not being properly on the line that it was supposed to be. It was corrected at that meeting. And in fact, if you have your third page, I believe it is, on the financial,
Okay, but I just was saying that we needed to just correct that you requested that.
Let's, I don't remember, so you could be right, that could be right. Let's go over the reserves when we get into the financial, because look at the reserves that we're supposed to have. You know, the same question I asked,
No.
it was 2 months ago or 3 months ago.
I just was talking in reference to the minutes.
it was.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, right in the minute.
It was not corrected in this one either. I said so.
Yeah, we need to, you need to correct that somewhere, either in 2 months ago.
No, that was done 2 meetings ago, but then when they did the report on this one, they didn't correct it. Because if you look at page 4, you would see that the reserve would show for the month of July, August, and September. They didn't write down January, February, March, April like it was
And I
supposed to.
did it before, and that's the same question we had before.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright,
So-
so we'll make the corrections.
I'll make a motion to approve the minute with the proper correction in reference
To the reserve motion.
I second.
been properly seconded by Richard. Questions? All of those in favor say aye. So moved. Going to the financial report, one of the things is like, as you mentioned, is the reserve that was not updated correctly.
in BB&T reserve account is showing we have $32,341. And in the reserve, allocation of reserves, we're supposed to have 2466, 91,000 in our reserves. And we have $32,000. Where's the rest of this money?
If you look here, which is also, I requested for the correction, which also has to be corrected. It says here, you have reserve years, cash saving reserve of a little bit over $2,000.
I see BP&T reserve, 32,341, that's operate, no. That's
No,
one,
reserve.
three, reserve. Yeah, I'm here on reserve.
Right.
It says, reserve says we have $32,341.32 in the operating account, which is going to be wiped out by our tree trimming, which means that all of this down here that says we're supposed to have $91,000 is we're going to have.
No. 4260.
We had $24,000 budgeted for the hurricane, and it's going to cost us 33 or 34,000 or so. It cost us 29,000 for the trees and to get rid of the debris. We had to hire an extra man to come to work for a few weeks to clean up the messes and the fences. We had to pay to have trucks taken out the garbage. So from the 24 that we had allocated for the hurricane, we're spending more than that. But the problem is not that, is that we're supposed to have $91,000 in reserves for all of these things, for the pool, for the seal coat, for the hurricane, which, okay, we can wait to do that, but we only have 32, which means we're going to wipe out our reserves this month for the whole, we're going to be left with zero reserves again.
There's only allocated for the reserve 24,000 for the hurricane.
For the hurricane, but that doesn't even matter, I'm just saying, we only have, you can only talk dollars, we only have physically $32,000 in reserve money in from all of our reserves. We have 4 reserves, right? And we only have $32,000 from all of them. We're already going to spend that just for one of them, which means we don't have any money for any of them. So whatever we do with our budget, we need to allocate something to cover the deficit this year from our reserves. So then next year we won't be in the same position. We could get another hurricane next year, we don't know. Hopefully not. The idea is to get a little bit of money each year so we cover the cost of that. But we need to allocate a little money from our new budget, which I think we have enough, but we don't have our bankruptcy anymore. So I think with that money, we could put that money into reserves and we should be fine, right?
We also have the contribution for capital improvement of about $111,000.
This doesn't mean anything. This is all bookkeeper stuff. That's not cash. This is cash over here. This is just garbage that the computers put in to make the books come out to zero. We don't have any of this money. We don't have $266,000, and we don't have equity of $71,000 for sure. We have equity of 32, 34, 35, 45, $50,000, $51,000 we have in equity right now. All the rest of that's bookkeeping.
I already wrote here that we need to make those corrections to bring the accounts as it was supposed to be when I first gave them the
First sheet. The first sheet, is that something that was called in today? first sheet here, that was gone into the
Yes,
bank.
yes,
So this is the cash in hands that we have
yes,
at the bottom.
yes.
Okay. Which is 137,362.
What do we have in Chase still?
The Chase, you have 15,928.
We still haven't closed the bankruptcy yet?
We got over the,
The ones-
close that.
The ones we already closed, I sent the letter, and I think the two of you signed it.
Yeah, we did.
It was for the executive for
Executive,
2,160, and the other one for 2,530.
Okay. So what needs to be done is we need to update, there's no deficit that we have. But we do need to update the reserves account as what should be in the reserve account. And that is taken out of the operating. So any difference based on the time, we need to update those accounts. But we have the money. So there's no issue as if there's no money. Okay? So what we need, which Richard gave the numbers, we need to update those reserve accounts and let them have it. Because we have the money, I don't know why we're not updating the reserve account. But we said
How
it.
many months?
You said it too, he said it several times.
Several
And
times.
it seemed like they're not doing it, but the money's there.
We
Okay?
don't even have to do all of it, we just do part of it, so we know that we're not gonna be short
Right.
next year or the year after, no?
Right, and if y'all can see, that's why, we request to know what is in the bank account at this time. To make sure that we know what's on cash at hand, opposed to what the balance sheet had, which the balance sheet is really up until the 30th of September. Okay, so,
No, the accountant said he can't, close the balance sheet because the account's not reconciled. Did you read that?
you talking about this here? Exactly this?
No.
Oh, you're talking about something else?
Well, it's because of this.
No, but you're talking about this year, or you're talking about something else? That's my question.
I'm talking about the audit.
The audit and this is two different things.
I understand.
So let's not put the two together.
Okay.
Okay. So, based on what we have here, is there any question? You have any more questions, Richard?
Well, when you let me talk about the audit, the financial.
No, when we get to
Because of
that,
the audit.
when we get to that, I'm going to talk about the audit.
Okay.
But I don't want
I'm
to
finished.
confuse both things.
I'm finished with this, with
Oh.
the financial report.
Okay, so, the financial report, at this time, because of the discrepancies that we have, I would place a motion just to table this financial report until when it's completely corrected. Do I have a second?
I second.
Been properly seconded by Richard. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, so moved. We can, under financial, because I don't see that on the agenda, I can please number one here, and now we can speak about the audit.
One audit.
One, just right below initial financial report, we're on page one,
I did that.
and we can do, talk about the audit.
Okay.
In reference to the audit, I saw the information, did you make copies for us? Oh, sir?
No,
be available to all the residents as they request.
Yes.
In reference to the audit, go ahead and address the audit, Richard, because I can try to answer you what.
The accountant in the email that he said says he can't finish the audit, the major thing. There's some little questions that we can answer that he can finish it with. But the major thing, he can't finish the audit because the accounts are not reconciled.
Okay.
If the accounts that he gets at the end of the year aren't reconciled, he can't do the audit according to him. And he also talked about the funding, which we just talked about and resolved, I hope.
Okay.
And he also mentioned the bankruptcy.
Yeah, which that's,
Okay.
should be closed, Ernesto, that should be closed, but that, the bankruptcy is a different subject.
Now, in reference to the letter of information that you all received, if you, hopefully you all saw page number 3.
Let me see if I can print this for you again. I was trying to figure it.
What time, what was time was it, Senator Ernesto?
August 11th.
Huh?
The management company received this August 11th.
No, what time did we get the email today?
Oh, the one that I sent, the last one that I sent you was about 4 something.
4:29.
The last one I sent.
4:51, okay, I got it. No, that's,
And that, the reason you received that is because that's the email that was sent to me by Amy Moeller, the CPA. I called. And when I read the information.
okay, yeah, exactly. This is where she wanted the questions answered.
Right. When I read the information for the first page about accumulated fund deficit, I read the information for the replacement fund account is underfunded by $57,000. The third page begins to talk about what they need in order to complete their audit correctly and the invoice that has been requested. When I talked to her, she said the reason she wrote that, and that was August, is because she needed that to complete the audit correctly. But she told me up to today, she has not received any information from the management company.
That's what my whole, that's why I brought it up.
So, because of that, all of these things that you received on the email, and it shows all of these things supposed to be with the management. But if they don't get the invoices, these invoices and this information requested, they're not gonna sue and then place it down what needs to be done.
Yeah, they won't complete the audit.
And they requested that on August, send that August 11th. Okay?
So it's not the management company that's supposed to do that?
Huh?
The management company, they're still the ones supposed to do that?
Yes, sir. They're supposed to make sure.
It's on number 17.
This is the previous number, I finished the manager's service, but these that she's facing here, these are so-called invoices.
But that's from 2016. They didn't finish the audit from 2016?
This is the audit for 2016.
We're 2017.
No, you
What is it they're doing this year?
No, well, look, you can do 17. I do when we finish 17.
Okay.
And we always do it 1 year after, okay? Now, the thing is that, yes, she's mentioning why we have this and why we don't. If you recall, last year, in November, December, we had a cash balance of over $100,000. So, by there, she's saying to me that if you go to the balance sheet, which was further down, she said that there's a cash equivalent here, there's a replacement fund only that we have on hand 2016 she has put us at a deficit there. Okay, she was explaining this to me, and the bottom line is that the management company has not given them the proper information. Not only that, how she gave this to the management company August 11th. That's why I told her to send me the email. August 11th, and we just getting that draft. And this, she said, this is only a draft. And this is that. We find out why we're getting this today.
I don't know, why did we get this today?
When is that?
Oh, okay.
But the
Okay, but we can leave it alone.
well,
We'll talk to,
yeah.
we'll talk to the accountant and give him whatever information
So,
he needs.
so we will have to address that afterwards, but I just want to get an understanding of what happened, because that's why I wanted her to send an email, which she did. Let me get up to this here. She did send an email.
Say we were pretty some pages.
This is
I think I was able to print the first 6 pages.
She sent the email there, and you can see that, if you see here, and that's what I told her, you want to make sure that you show us the date that you sent that email. And if you can see here, the email was issued on the 11th of August. For management.
I didn't understand this accumulated fund deficit. I understand the whole thing about the reserves, that's exactly what I said, we need to fund $57,000 more into a reserve account, which is exactly what I said. I don't understand why she says we have accumulated fund deficit of $46,000.
She said all of this because they don't have enough information. And
You're probably right.
And if you, and that's why when you look at this, the email that I asked her to send me, the email showing what she sent to the management company, it showed there that she sent to the management company August the 11th.
All
email. Yes. But
About the last page, about what she needed from Miguel Lopez and everybody else.
what she needed from the management company, and she never received it. And she said that she told me I've talked to her one woman at a time, and it's like I'm not talking to everyone. Okay, when you know the rest of the conversation, I'll say so.
Yes, I don't know.
We don't know she never received it because this is from August 11th. Where's the one she sent that says she never received it?
Huh?
This is from August 11th. And so is that, that's in my
She said
phone.
that she told me today she had never received the information requested, and that's on page number 3.
Yeah, I read that. I read everything she's looking for.
And management have that. Okay,
Okay.
any other questions?
No.
No. Moving on. Going to F. Manager report.
The report, I'm not going to be able to read it to you because it was deleted this afternoon when Sandra and myself and yourself were here. She got into the computer and somehow she deleted all 7 pages from the manager's report. What I'll try to do is recreate it as much as I can, and I'll have that ready for you for the next meeting.
Okay.
New business.
Okay. New business, every year we vote on this in the board meeting. And we vote on this because what we do, we establish that whoever is behind 90 days an assessment will not be able to vote.
I second. That was your motion?
Whoever is there, yes, pretty much.
December,
I second.
It's been properly seconded by Richard. that
So-
anyone that is 90 days in the rear, and that's by the state of Florida, will not be able to vote. The second by Richard.
Next second.
Question. All of those in favor say aye.
Alright.
So, now, the following ones that we're going to be dealing with, I would like to request, once you finish, Jose, I would like to let you know that because we can discuss certain things, it would be best for you to, you can leave at this time, once you will be able to do this.
Okay, so.
How much I'm gonna lock that door and you lock these, okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can answer.
You got a key for that?
Yeah, I got a few calls.
Okay. Good night, good night.
We're going? Ratification?
Okay. We can go ahead and ratify publicly determination of reliable property management. One of the things, one of the issues, and we all know the issues in reference to property management, and this thing about the audit, that was new to me, that, well, you can see there was another thing that never was brought to the attention until today. But that's why when I read it, I had the same concerns that Richard had, and I called the CPA company. And I realized that they have not forwarded anything to them. So that's in addition to what.
Excuse me a minute, I left my phone. Sorry about that.
I had a brief meeting this afternoon that Sandra called. And Richard was on the phone, and Richard said to her, I already expressed to you what we're terminating. And, he didn't have nothing to say to go ahead and talk to me.
Because I talked to her for like 3 hours before and explained to her why we're terminating her because of many reasons I gave her, and then she's going back to the $8,000 and wants to talk about that again. And I said, I don't want to do that, I don't feel good. No, I didn't want to do that all over again. You were there. She wanted to talk to you, so that's why I said.
No, but that's fine. That's fine. No, what I was going to say is that I touched that to her and let her know that we're not supposed to be not even talking about that because she's supposed to give us $8,000. Period.
What was the response to the 8,000 bucks?
Oh, she said that there was a miscommunication with the lawyer office and with her office.
No, no, she said the same thing, she said, that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
When she talked to me, 2 weeks ago, she's telling me, no, there was a miscommunication, that I offered Ernesto to have a payout of the money, or maybe the attorney could pay part because it was partially his fault. And I said, and I don't care what information the attorney is for, or the board is for. When the board or the attorney is the management company, how much somebody owes, we should get the right amount. I don't care who is for or how they ask for it. But she said, no, because they didn't ask for a stop letter, he just asked for the payout. I said, so let's say he's sitting in front of a judge and they're trying to make a settlement. And he calls you and asks, how much money do we owe, do the people owe? And you tell him $1,000, and he tells the judge, we'll settle for the $1,000. The judge says, fine, $1,000. Now we lost $9,000 because they actually owed us more money. I'm going, that doesn't make any sense. And she's going, then she keeps telling me. So but then she said, no, but I made that to Ernesto that we could either pay it out, no, not all at once, but pay it out. I said, well, send me that email that you sent, because the only one I saw was the one she said she didn't do anything wrong. And I think it was the attorney's fault. And so then she sent me the same email that she sent way back when, saying it's the attorney's fault and they didn't do anything wrong. So I just said, I don't want to talk about this anymore. So get tired of going over the same thing over and over again.
So I touched bases on that, I told her we expected to, and then I sent her that email, I emailed you all today and the attorney. Because if she don't pay us by the 27th, then we put it in the attorney office. She's going to court with us. So, she knows she will lose. So hopefully we don't let them have to issue that.
Okay, I make a motion, I don't know what this ratification means, but I'll make a motion to just terminate the contract with the reliable property manager.
Do I have a second? We've been seconded by Joe. All of those in favor say aye.
Aye.
So moved. Now, the ratification, going to the third part, ratification of a new property management company. Now, we did have a closed meeting the 4th of, if I'm not mistaken, it was the 4th of October, where we all made that decision, and then I did mention that we was gonna come back together, I Richard, and that to decide and what company we would go with, and that everyone has the right to get a company and forward it to each one of us. Well, based on what I recall, it was only 3 companies at the time. I know Joe did send one Friday. Is it Friday?
Make that
It was Saturday. But anyway, we received it. We received it. And we have to review these and then make a decision. Well, on the day that we have to make a decision, we did not make the decision because Priscilla wasn't there. That was fine. She said she was at a flu. Joe and Felix was there. Joe and Felix said they would like to interview 2 companies. And I said, fine. I said, Richard, please call James and let him know that you need to send someone or come and set whichever.
And I told you I wasn't going to do that.
2. No.
I said, we've already introduced him twice.
Just a minute. And that's what I said, and I said I would call Lisa was the other property manager. So I could get her that night to tell her, so I did call her the following day, got hold of her, and gave her Jonah for y'all to make an arrangement, because I don't know what time it was. I didn't need to be there. Yeah, I had my mind made up already.
How did you have your mind made up if you never met her?
And Richard,
How did you have your mind made up if you never met her?
I have my mind made up on all the information I know.
You never met the woman.
But that's my opinion. I'm not debating what Krista think, Felix think, what Joe think.
I'm just saying,
I'm talking about
if
me.
you never meet somebody that's gonna, you fired 2 companies already that you were adamant about hiring them. And that they didn't work out and you had to fire both of them. I'm just saying, how do you go about hiring another company when you haven't even met the person that runs the company? Then you can't go by a recommendation from a friend that says you need to go and vet them. Like when I went to their offices, looked at their offices, went to the other association, not my sister's house association, but the association that they went in Weston, and talked to the people there, and then I got a recommendation from L&M, and that was, what, how many years ago? 2 years ago, 1 year ago? I don't know how long ago it was, before Reliable started with us. No? And then you wanted to fire Reliable again, you asked me to call J&L again, which I did again, and they gave us the same quote they had given us before. No? And then you asked me this time, when you asked me, please call J&L, and I said to you, I don't want to call J&L anymore, I look like an idiot. I called them twice, they gave us two quotes, actually the same quote both times, no? And then we called them and told them we don't want them. I said, it looks stupid. You said, just business, call them up anyway, I called them up anyway. So now he gave us a quote for $3 less a home than his original quote, no? And a full-time property manager, what everybody else wants us to pay a full-time property manager for. And then you come up with this thing that you've already hired. I called you on the phone, and you said there's nothing to discuss. I've already hired what's-her-police's company, because you and Felix decided that that's what you wanted to do, which that's not true. When Felix left my house that day after, very nice woman, we talked to her. But when Felix and I left the house that day, our agreement was that she was going to send us the next day around 10 o'clock in the morning or so, her proposal of what she could do, because we had some extra questions to ask her. We asked her, I asked her specifically a question on can she add Henry to her payroll. She couldn't answer the question. She was going to put it in her proposal and get back to us. She never sent us the proposal, evidently she sent it to you. But did you get one?
No?
Neither did I. I've never gotten a proposal. No, we also asked her about the accounting situation. And we also asked her about a full-time manager, which she didn't know if she could provide for us or not. She said she'd put that in her proposal. And when we left the house that day, we had no agreement we were going to hire anybody. What we had an agreement was she was a very lovely, well-educated woman, and that we were going to wait for her proposal and see if she could give us the things we needed, and then we'd all make a decision together, not just Felix and I, but everybody together, on who we were going to hire for our property manager. And then I called you right after the meeting, and everything went awry. It went like, you told me the next day, not right after the meeting, that was a different conversation that I said, okay, can't talk about this anymore. But the next day you told me, no, we've already hired her. I had to make a call to the attorney that cost money for no reason. He called you back, that's more money that we spent for no reason. And then he called me back to explain what he explained to you, which was another call we paid for no reason. We didn't have to do all this. All you had to do was tell me what you wanted to do. I've known you for how long, Ernesto? I've respected you all these years. No, you give me the elbow. Respect. You're the only, how many people come to my house and pour their own drink? I mean, come on, let's face it. and you do that. I said, I don't understand this. I've been sick for 2 days because of this, for no reason. For our community, but I take these things seriously.
Okay, but let's take this the way we discussed. Okay? Because all what you're saying is mix up and
No, it's not mixed up. I want to know one thing. Where's your horse in this race? I want you to answer me. We were in our house. Joe was there, so I'm not going to even. You were in our house, and you said I'm gonna stay on it. You told us that you're not gonna even stay on the board after January. So where do you have a horse even in this race? You wanna give us a property management company that you particularly want, that you haven't met the people yet, that you particularly want this property management company, for what reason? If you're not gonna be here, you're not gonna work with the property manager. So what even, you shouldn't have a horse in the race. And in my house, you sat right up there in my bar, and you said, I'm gonna let you decide, no, I'm gonna stay out of this. And then you came back after, on a telephone conversation, and you said, no, I didn't say I was gonna stay out of it, I said, I would really vote to untie it, if it was a tie vote. And then the following day, right after we met with Lisa, you said, I've already hired her. And you told me you never met her. And I was like, and that's when I got annoyed with you. That's the only reason I got annoyed with you. Is because you told me, no. I said, we should all get together in my house and we could vote on the property management company. You said, no, I've already hired her. And I'm going, he never met the woman and he's already hired her. And then I called Edo and he said, no, he didn't hire her. He just sent me over a copy of the contract like you sent me. I sent him over a copy of the contract for L&M. I didn't send it over the day after you sent it over.
But those are the reason why you made a decision based on the arguments you had with Felix and Richard. Felix and Richard, as what you said, that both of them decided. Is that what you got?
That's why I want him to start, finish this start.
My finished.
You finished?
Yes.
Okay. So we was there, and I said, I can call Lisa. He said, he was call, and I said, to call jail because Joe and Felix want to talk, interview. I said, I know who I'm going with, and I can still up it, but if I have to break a tie, I will break a tie. You said, you know who you're going to go to jail, and you don't have to interview. This is what we discussed that night.
No, I said.
Wait, just a minute. Let's ask Joe, because if I misspoke and didn't say that, Joe and Felix can correct. I don't want you to say anything because we let you talk. But if I just want to make sure that we're clear that I say this is what I said. If I didn't say that, y'all can advise me at this time that I didn't say that. But I know you all requested to interview the guys, and they're supposed to come and speak with y'all. Okay? Now, the following day, I gave Lisa your number. Y'all make an agreement
She called us, spoke with her, and we made the appointment to
right.
meet at Richard's house.
Because I told Lisa, Joe is going on vacation Thursday. So we need to meet with them before that time. So Thursday came, and Wednesday came, and that day you were not able to make it because of your emergency.
Yes.
So Richard and Felix went together with Lisa. Okay? So you wasn't there, Joe. I was in there. You wasn't there. Now, both of them interviewed Lisa. And once they finish, this is when you come into the conversation. What did happen after that? Because now you can say what happened.
Okay. First, I want to say something because when you start saying he says something, you say something, he says something, Rita says something, she says something, it's a too much misunderstanding because everybody knows that we have to be together all the time in order to resolve this question.
I agree.
Okay, now, when I leave the house, I didn't say nothing after the meeting. After that, you called me. And there is another misunderstanding there. You told me, the lady is nice, educated, and I like her. I think I will go with her.
No, I never said that. Ever. Ever in a million years I never said that. I said the lady is very nice, very well educated. No, I said, well, you said, and we're gonna wait for her proposal, and we're gonna read the proposal. I never said we're gonna go with anyone. I would never say that. I would say we all need to vote and see who we're
We
gonna
let
vote.
you talk, let me talk.
Okay, keep going. You told me this already, and it's not true. It's just, maybe you misunderstood me. But I thought I was speaking in Spanish then, I'm not sure. I did
Listen,
the second
don't
conversation.
say that, because when I have to talk to a lawyer, I don't have to repeat it. When I talk to a doctor, I don't have to repeat it. Only with you guys,
I want it on.
only with you guys.
I would like the camera on.
Leave it out.
Only with you guys, when you have to defend yourself for something against Spanish people, you say that. But no, listen, I am not crazy, and I know what you say.
I didn't say you're crazy, I'm saying you completely,
No.
whatever word you thought.
Don't say this in Spanish or English.
That we're gonna go with her. I would never say that.
You told me that, and after you told me that, I said, listen, I like her too. I think it's really nice, very polite, but let wait, she sent the proposal. The proposal, she never sent it because at the end, we want to say a part-time manager, not full-time manager. And you was emphasized there has to be a full-time manager. You say that, you can ask that question to Lisa, and you will see who's
Okay, Ernesto, let me just ask one question here. Ernesto, for how many years have I been saying that maybe we can get by with not a full-time scan manager, but an administrative assistant? How many years I've been saying this? I said to her, yes, no, we'd like you to give us a quote for a full-time property manager because of Ernesto. Because Ernesto for the past 6 years has said, although we didn't have one for 6 years, we only had one for like 2 years maybe, 2 or 3 years, I forgot, whenever the girl started working for that lady. What was her name? Affinities person? Caridad. When Caridad started. We've only had a full-time manager since then. But Ernesto has always demanded to have a full-time manager because he doesn't want to do the extra work, which is I'm 100% in agreement with. I voted for that all the time. So this time I said, let's not change because we have a quote from J&M for a full-time property manager. She gave us one for a part-time property manager, which was almost as expensive as theirs. Theirs was $1,500 more for a full-time property manager than for a part-time property manager. They said, give us a quote for a full-time and see what that comes out, and then we can make a decision between the two companies and decide what we want to hire. That was our thing.
One second. Since there was misunderstanding between you two, and that's why that decision was made by Ernesto. How can we go ahead and correct that misunderstanding? How can we move forward by correcting that misunderstanding?
Okay.
That's it. That's the main
Okay,
thing.
now let me ask a question. Do you know about the association he's bringing in? Do you know Jim or the Jim and do you know something about it? Yes, exactly. Do you know something about it? Do you?
No, I don't.
Me neither. So you are taking the decision?
No, I didn't.
Yeah. You say this has to be.
No, I
You say
did
not.
not.
That, like I say, we have to be.
When did I say it had to be?
Well, that's, again, we go back to his opinion, that's fine. I want.
I've made no vote. I voted for no one yet.
Oh, okay. So, I'm glad Joe said what he said. Now, at this time, it's 4 companies. 4 JNL. The one that you said. United. You said one? Yes, you said one, a company. This is a presentation, meaning written. And then the one I recommend. Okay.
We got
They
3.
did 4.
4.
Yeah. Did everyone had a chance to review
I
the information? Did
I
they-
reviewed United
Oh.
and J&M and the one that Felix sent a couple weeks ago. That was expensive.
Okay, but wait.
But
You reviewed.
haven't even seen Lisa's proposal.
No, well, you review what was said.
No.
You got an email that they got about Lisa proposal. She
Her
had-
first proposal.
Right, that's all I'm saying.
Yes.
Yeah, let's not go into anything. You had a chance to see, you had a chance to see the four of them. You had a chance to see four of them. You had a chance. None of them.
I sent you an email.
I haven't seen my.
No, she haven't looked at them.
Okay.
Not
No,
that
I
she
already
didn't
got them, but,
see. Okay,
I
now,
don't
okay. So everybody's acquainted with the different documents. So, let's just move forward.
So we haven't picked.
No, because that's all we have to ratify. So let's ratify any of the four companies. It doesn't matter, it don't matter. Again, I don't want to break no time. I'm telling that up front. Yeah, I know who I'm, but that, just a minute, Richard, everyone here has his opinion. I have my opinion, so I'm not influenced no one.
I want to know where you got your opinion from. That's where I want to know. That's why I asked her the questions that she said she was going to send us the answers with her proposal. Now, I want to know where you got your opinion from. If you never met the person, how can you have an opinion, from never meeting the person? You met J and L twice. No, you met it. No? Oh, and you haven't met the property manager you want to send to our property because he's not going to send the property manager to our property until we tell him to send the property manager to our property. And with her, she can't answer. Did she answer in her proposal that she sent to you, to the attorney, if she could put Henry on her payroll? Did she answer that at all? Did she answer how much it's going to cost for a full-time property manager?
No, because that's not the need. Because we don't need one.
Okay.
But again,
Okay,
again,
I'm going to go back to
let's
the
not,
meeting.
no, but let's not deal with that no more because we're wasting time here. We all
We need to do apples and apples and nuts and
Why
nuts.
don't we need one?
a full-time property manager.
I want to hear this. This I want to hear.
Because right now,
Because he's leaving, he's going to leave us to do the work. So he don't care.
right now, we do not have a full-time manager. We don't
Right
have-
now, we do not. That was our,
Can you not?
that was our year of changing
Okay.
companies.
Do you want to talk? Talk. And when you finish, I can speak. So go ahead and speak.
Our idea of changing, right now, we have this guy for like 23 hours a week, and it's not working out.
No,
Before we had,
we call a lot of times.
it's not working out. And
Never
before-
answer the phone.
Before we had a full-time property manager, and it didn't work out. And before that, we had a full-time property manager, and it didn't work out. But if we got a good full-time property manager, maybe it will work out. And what Felix, I was talking with Felix, I said, let's just leave us the way we are right now, because they're new on the board, you're new on the board. Now, he's leaving, so we don't have to do all the work ourselves. Leave a full-time property manager this year, and then maybe next year, we can look into what I wanted to do all along from the beginning, was having this administrative assistant, that talks to the office. And didn't we talk about that, Felix?
Yes.
And so I said, this year, let's give us a full-time property manager, so he's going. He runs a meeting really well, he does that. I don't want to be president. But if we have a full-time property manager, have a little more consistency this year, we have enough money to do it. And what, I don't know about the other companies, because I haven't seen her proposal, but what.
Can I make a proposal?
Sure.
We still have a few, a week or a little more than that to make a decision. Let's not make a decision tonight. Why don't we start from the beginning? The four companies that we have, why don't we invite all four of them, the managers, sit down with them one day, whether this week or next week, whatever, and then we come make a final decision on who we're going to use. Why not do that?
I agree.
I think that's the
I don't think
answer.
it's time to look at.
I think that's the answer to that. To the
I
problem.
agree too.
I agree too, but I have a question. The four companies, they are the one that I recommended? why we have to live with them? It's too expensive, we don't need it.
Okay, make it 3 then. Make it 3. Take out yours.
So they want you was wasting time.
Okay, right. Forget about yours. But the other 3, let's meet with them this week, if it's possible, and discuss what we're discussing right now, and then they could take a decision on which whatever they were going to use. I think that should solve the problem.
Yes.
That's good, you gotta make the decision together.
Yeah.
But we have to be together in that kind of
Exactly.
situation.
Everybody.
Everyone.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to do it.
I have a question. I don't know if I should interrupt your comments. I'm a new face, so it's all new faces. What would be the difference between a full-time management and a part-time management? Budget-wise, or the pros and cons of.
It's cheaper to not have a licensed manager. It's cheaper not to have a part-time manager, of course, than a full-time manager. But right now, they're all new on the board. I'm the only one that's been around for a while. Ernesto's leaving, and I really feel like for 1 year, so the people that live here will have service from a property manager that's going to answer the telephone, that's going to be in the office, so they can talk to them. For now, so we're not doing that work. We don't get paid, the property manager gets paid, but so we have some kind of continuity for this year, and then let's see how it goes, and then next year maybe we can ask the management company to say, okay, we don't need a full-time manager. Send us a manager here twice a week and give us an administrative assistant, a secretary, which is $20,000 less a year, to stay in the office, to answer the questions, and if she has a problem, she contacts your office, and see how that works out. But then you got to see how much that's going to cost too. So maybe it'll be so much cheaper, maybe it won't be so much. You make that decision when it comes around. But I agree, we should get together, all of us, meet with whoever the managers are for the companies, and see if they can give us what we need. I still don't know if Lisa can put Henry on her payroll. Do you have a copy of what she sent to the attorney you could send to us so we could read it?
I spoke to her.
And?
And I said yes to you just a while ago. I spoke to her. The only reason that we said about JML is because they wanted to interview them. You already interviewed them. I already saw them. They wanted to talk to them. That's it. And you know that was about a man. You didn't have to be big. And JML was going to speak with them. So I don't.
They can meet my house anytime they want.
Okay,
Mine's
but so
open.
the point is that I don't need to be there, and I accept that. So
Yes,
so you just do all of this, but that's all right. Joe made a recommendation. Joe made a recommendation. Do we have a second?
What was the question?
Your recommendation is that
Oh.
we meet. That would have to be this week. We meet this week. We get somebody can
Okay,
Call.
meet the contacts.
meet this week. You have Lisa number, right?
Yes.
Okay. You please call Lisa.
Yeah,
Okay.
I call this.
And you can
I
call
can also call you guys.
United. Richard, you can call KNL.
What day do we want to meet?
Well, I don't know. Again, whatever decision you make is fine with me. But it have to be the majority. I don't want to be breaking no ties. I said that before. So y'all win. But you have to make sure, whatever time y'all end up, y'all make sure that you can see the representative. I'm doing things up, so I don't want to say I can do it. I can make it fun if I can, and whatever decision is made, just call me, and still but at least today is Tuesday, at least y'all need to get together with this person
Let's start calling those people tomorrow.
by Thursday. Yeah, you set up a.
I can do any day this week and any day next week except for Friday.
And you can meet right here if you want. About Richard, doesn't matter.
Okay, let's clarify that. When are we going to meet with them?
You tell me a date, I'll call them and see if we can set it up all on the same day.
I can do, tomorrow I'm free, Thursday after 8.
8 in the morning.
No, oh, in the morning?
What is it? We gotta get do it in the day.
Oh, that's
Today is
fine.
a good day for you.
The day is
You
good.
can do it.
Maybe to my house.
In the day.
Okay, it's a good day for
I
you.
don't have.
Thursday?
No, she said tomorrow.
Huh?
Tomorrow's fine.
But tomorrow might be too
Tomorrow
hard to
is
get
too
everybody set up
pushy.
at home.
Tomorrow will be a little too pushy because,
See, we can get some tomorrow. Might
Yeah.
get one tomorrow and the
Right.
two Thursday.
you call us who can come tomorrow during the
Okay,
day.
you two guys made the appointments. If mine is out of the question.
Listen. Yeah, so,
And you make the list.
no, Joe can do it. Joe can do it. Joe can do it. And then y'all let me know by Thursday. Is that good?
That's what's good to me.
So you good too.
For Thursday?
Thursday evening, y'all call me and let me know what you want to do. What is your opinion? Individually, and each one have an opinion, and
What
that's,
day are we gonna do this then?
Tomorrow. If we can get someone tomorrow, fine, or Thursday.
You have your hands full.
Hmm?
You guys have your hands full.
We have 2 days instead of 1 day?
we're not
Yeah, 2
here.
days.
We're not
See you
here.
tomorrow.
I mean, I can do tomorrow.
We're not here to agree.
But Thursday, if you're gonna do it on Thursday, it has to be after 8, because I have someone coming, an insurance person comes in at 7 p.m. So,
This is good. Okay. All right, so right now we can table, we're gonna table point number 3. Do I have a second?
We're gonna table it, yes, I second.
Okay, we properly second by Richard. All of those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, also I make a motion that Joe will be contacting United and Lisa, President Company, and Richard JL to make an appointment to meet at 9 tomorrow, Tuesday and Thursday, and then we'll make, that Thursday. Do I have a second?
I second.
We probably second by Richard. All of those in favor say aye. So, all right, let's go move on to the budget. Did you all get that email that came from Edo? I sent you an email about the check that was signed. About the mediation with one of the residents. You got that, Richard? The mediation check that you said we have to send?
Yeah, $400 and some odd dollars. No?
They have to return that.
They're returning it?
Yeah, because it's a mediation. It didn't say mediation, it said mediation or something.
Oh, they spelled something wrong. I just signed it, I didn't look. I didn't write it.
But they returned it without that. Anyway, let's go ahead and do the budget now. See if we can go through this line item rather quickly to send that to the community. Now, it was requested to the property manager to send us a worksheet. He never sent it. So, Okay, if we look at the assessment information, we can skip that because that is the total assessment, the actual assessment that is coming in. So we can skip that because we need to know basically what we can have at the end. I guess we can start from expenses. Let's go there. Expenses. Yeah. We start from expenses, I'll go down the line item. That's line item 07010. And did you make any agenda copy? You didn't make any balance sheet copies neither? I'm sorry about that.
Can I make one point in the budget? We can take out our bankruptcy payments that we have in this budget that, from last year. And that can go back into the general fund, which is $5,000 a month. And we're gonna need to increase our reserves by a little bit, but not too much. And we're gonna need to increase our management services by a little bit, but not too much. But we can basically leave our whole budget the way it is, because we have the money from the bankruptcy to put into our reserves, you know, where we're finally get our reserves back to par. We can basically leave the whole budget the way it is. Increase it $1, what is it, 37.30, what are we paying now, $167? We pay 128.67, so we increase it by the dollar and change to make it 130, so it's a round number, no?
That goes to the,
I thought it was 128.
128.67.
yeah, 128. You paying 148?
No, 128
Assessment.
Yeah.
assessment.
That's what I pay. I pay
Not the 67 cents.
Yes, I
know.
It was like that, but they changed.
Right. It's 128. It's 128.
Okay, so
It's 120.
No, I know that was a mistake there.
So some people are paying 128 and others paying 126.
Well,
Jim wants to know if he can come on Friday or Saturday, because he has meetings, you know, all day tomorrow and Thursday.
in the
Yeah, those
day.
days.
In the day.
Huh?
Yeah, those days is good.
In the day.
Friday or Saturday? Good for you?
Not Saturday.
In the day. Talk in the day.
Daytime.
What time?
I gotta do it this way.
Meanwhile, he's looking at that. Yeah, we can go to round it up to 130 a month. And the difference we can put it in reserve.
So we're gonna boost up the association fee.
by $2.
One
Oh, he didn't say
yeah,
that.
do that. I do that.
Why
If they want to.
we are
pay-
paying 67 more and others we paying 67 less?
No, well, the 67 is going to be a credit on that account. That's it. It's supposed to be coming down and your account as
He said
a
he couldn't meet the evenings.
The 67 cents.
if you pay 67.
I
That's
read it.
supposed to be a credit on the account.
They write in code.
Yeah.
Uh,
But
We
we can make this decision. We can stay at 128 or go up to $2. That make it 130, which will go to the reserve.
That's the question. You really need to be increasing.
I personally know, that's me.
You really need it.
The only reason I would go up the dollar and change is because we're paying
Richard, but
130.
let's people really tight with the budget. Make
Okay, don't agree with the problem.
I ask you your question. You really needed to do it?
The only thing we need to do is figure out a way then, go through the whole budget and figure out a way to get money spend less on something and put the money back into the reserves. Because even when we take the money out of this account, we're gonna be short in the reserves about
But
$31,000.
you said that the payment for bankruptcy is going to be the reserve.
Yeah, the bankruptcy payment.
Exactly.
Yeah, but we're still gonna be short, when you finish with that, about $31,000 that we're supposed to have in the reserves. That, you know, if you take all that money and put it into the reserve, we're still gonna be short about $31,000. If you took $1 and change for 385 houses a month, would pay that.
Well,
Yeah, but
it was,
If you don't wanna do it,
went up,
leave
like
it.
last year, because I was paying 123 when I first moved
Yeah.
2 years ago. And now we're paying 67, some of us.
okay. The reserve, as Richard is saying, that 31,000, that is not correct. The reserve, Richard, you can use what's there for a hurricane. And that reserve account for hurricanes, the only one can be at zero, which would be in again. Okay?
Right.
But everything else will balance out. We really don't need to increase. You know, I've always been.
Vanessa, go look at the reserves, I don't care if we increase or not, you can leave it.
Okay, we don't care,
I
okay?
don't care, but if you look at the reserve, what you're gonna do is you're gonna have the same thing next year that you have this year. We're not gonna have enough money in reserves.
Let's, if we don't need it right now, let's wait 1 year. If we are in the same situation.
That's not the idea of a reserve figures though. A reserve is money that we're putting basically into a savings account. So when the emergency happens, or when next time we have to redo our pool, or next time we have to redo
I
our
understand
thing,
that.
we have the money. It's not what we have right now, it's what we should have by law, in our bank account for a contingency for what we're gonna have to pay for in the future. Once we pay for what we have to for this hurricane, we're gonna have no dollars in our reserve. Now, they're gonna fund, if we have $137,000 in the bank, no,
Richard,
yeah,
again, you're rumbling out. You're talking about hurricane reserve only.
no, I'm not talking about all the reserves.
That's the problem. You're mixing the reserve. Don't mix the reserve because you will confuse folks.
How much money do we have in reserves? That's for all reserves. How much?
My point, wait, just a minute. The only money that we using is the reserve for hurricane.
Well, then we're in debt, now we're in debt, and then we're in debt about $7,000 or $8,000, because we budgeted for hurricane 24,000.
How much, oh, but just a minute, if they was transferring the money the way they're supposed to transfer, how much supposed to be in hurricane?
$24,000.
Okay, 24,000. So if you use that $24,000, and we have you use the difference from operating,
I'll walk up to her.
you pay what you have to pay. Next year you begin with hurricane only and zero. Beginning the process for hurricane. Okay, that's what I'm saying. You're not dealing with the other reserve.
Okay, I understand, but.
Okay, so how we can be.
But you're not dealing with the
How
other.
we can be in the deep deficit?
Because
How we
you're,
can-
because you're not dealing with the other reserves, because now you've not funded any of the other reserves.
We are.
Where?
If you look at here, it's funding some, and we have to put some more money in.
Yeah, but we don't have enough money to put the money in.
We have 130.
We owe $91,000 to a reserve,
We have $137,000.
and we owe 57,000, we owe 57,000 to the reserves. No, and we're taking.
As did you just say earlier, you don't have to pay all, you can pay some, then continue to pay.
Well, sure we can, but we can't, it's not for this year, that's for next year, Ernesto, that we're gonna pay some back.
Okay, but what I'm saying to you, and you know that.
Okay, you gotta go.
No, what I'm saying to you, and you know that, is that we do have operating expense available
I used to go there.
to sustain the reserve, to put money back and still have a good sheet. Why? Give you an example again. When we came in, we was paying $130 a month. And
We lowered
Virgil.
to 15.
Virgil
Virgil lowered it to 100.
lowered to 100. We chose not to do nothing that year that we did. So it stays at 100. The following year, they increase it by percent that is request that we can do the maximum. I think it was $12. The following year.
115, I think.
Oh, something like that. Then,
We
the
said,
other year, I don't know if we stayed or we increased, then it went to 128. That difference, $28 more, that's all operating expense. Because that's the money that we used to pay Comcast, $10,000 a month. But we're not paying Comcast.
Ernesto, all the years that we were paying 130, you're right, we were paying Comcast about $20 a home back then. It was cheap, a home for their service, so that was part of that budget. So we were really only paying 110. But we were funding reserves back then,
Previously, this
Yeah,
Virgin,
all the years since we've been
you wipe it out.
in bankruptcy until last year, we had no reserves at all, zero.
Virgin wiped it out.
Yeah, no,
Because
Virgil took it all, I know that.
But the point here is this, don't tell the other director this is a problem, this is not a problem. And don't say that it's a problem.
I'm not
The
saying we
problem-
can't get by, I'm saying
What?
one time we're gonna have to look at this seriously, and to raise, it's $1 and change, our maintenance, to raise $1 and change. So, well, I paid $128.67, I've been paying that
Yeah, but you have a
since
credit that's
January.
67 cents.
Because that's what my book says, $128.67, I pay what my book says. Huh?
Depending on the rating, then.
Well, if they don't want money, like I'm gonna call the office and tell them send me a check. I want my 67 times 12 back.
Yeah, we're like holiday fun.
I want my $10 now.
Well, I understand all of that. My point here is that, like right now, okay, regardless of what we look at it, if we want to fund for 137,000, go back and just fund the reserve and bring it back to, we still have
We'll have 80,000 left.
We still have operating
We'll still
cash.
have 80,000
And then we
left.
go into next month. You see, there was a lot of things that Richard know that we did. When we came in, they were spending over $1,000 a month just in cash, petty cash.
And $2,800 a month in accounting.
Okay. And once we came in, we stopped that.
We stopped that.
We got petty cash for $500. But we spend the petty cash $500 probably
Need
every
receipts.
2 months. I was really received, but for 2 months. So it's about 250, roughly whatever. So we did some other restraint on the budget. Doing all of what we did, we saved money. 2 years ago, we paved the street, we overlaid the streets. That was over $450,000. We did not make a special assessment. That was a fight with Richard, and he wanted a special. I said no. Again, everything for him is a special assessment. We don't need that. Okay, we don't need to go over the $2. And if we could save $450,000, no action assessment.
That's why we say if other hurricanes happen the next year, but if every year you want for the hurricane, you're gonna increase, for the It's not.
Okay, but in his mind, that's his thing. It is not. Why? Because we can begin in January to fund the hurricane, but to reserve account, okay? Let's say it's gonna be probably roughly about $1,000 something. Okay, if the hurricane comes, you use the reserve. Let's say if it's $6,000. You use the reserve and you use operating expense
Yeah.
with the difference. You pay what you have to pay. And if we wasn't doing that, as you see, we put in the park here. We have another park to put in. This park was about $30,000. We put in that park for the kids. It's not a problem. There's no special assessment. Because the money is there.
Everything can be special assessment and just raise it.
Well,
You have to go around and just turn from it.
Well, I don't-
Even if it's $1 and change or $2, that's gonna be.
yeah, I don't believe in special assessment.
I only say, we can handle it with this budget, leave it like that.
Yeah.
Okay?
Because the community will be happy,
Yeah.
increasing even a dollar.
Okay,
The
now,
problem is that the community, we put on $1, they're gonna.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's,
Now, if for the next year, we are in trouble, we have to think about it.
yeah. That's.
all we have to do is adjust it to make it come out exactly 128. The other thing that needs adjustment here is that we have a gate budget. That would gate the entrance. That was in upgrade the gate. And that was $45,000. So that's accumulating. Okay? So that's
But
there.
that money is there.
That money's there. But the other thing is that I think you're going to do more than $45,000. So we should throw in about another $20,000 for next year. Okay?
The reserve is going to increase, no matter what.
Well, that's not reserve, that's gate. But my point is, there's no need for no extra money. That's my point.
Okay, that sounds reasonable.
Okay, I don't know what he's looking at. He knows, that's why I said, he knows what happened in the past. And yes, I will be amendment next year. And y'all think y'all have someone, I can resign, no problem. But I'm going to be there for y'all to ask me this question. You look at this, you don't need to increase certain things. Because if you see that is a problem, then you don't do this, you don't do that, and you don't do that. You wait.
Okay, all right, let's,
So, what I can do, I can look at the numbers again, put it together, send it to all of you that you all reviewed it, and what's supposed to be budget for 2018. And then, if everybody in agreement, we'll move it to the new property management for them to send. And let it to all the owners.
Can I take this part out of the financial out of the
You
book?
can take it, the old book,
No,
The
then-
one more, because I
you
don't
can
think.
take the old book, and then we can go ahead and do that. The other thing I wanted to suggest before we finish the meeting, wanted to throw it out there next time we can. I mean, the agenda would be the election. The election, I was looking at that it could be December the 12th. I think that's the second Tuesday of December.
Good idea.
And usually the election, we have, from the past, it begins, the door is open for it turning approximately at 6:30. At 7 o'clock, the management company will call for quorum. If there's no quorum at 7 o'clock, within 5 minutes, they close up, they are gone. In order to have a quorum in an election, there have to be 116 votes. If there's no 116 votes, the board stays. Okay?
Can we go out and get 116 votes? So we don't have to stay?
Okay, now we're gonna go to H, resident comments and opinion. Any comments, remarks?
It was nice to meet you.
It was a pleasure.
Yeah.
I hope to see your face again. I mean, you coming here every Tuesday.
Okay, we don't, you just moving to the
Yes, that's it.
About 6 months.
About 6 months ago.
Okay. We only have a month, 32 each month. I think it's about.
Thank you.
Next time, you're gonna get in a letter for this week. I'm thinking I'm gonna probably hold the 7th. I'll be ready. That would be a vote for, that the board can have for the 2018 budget. And once that is approved, we can approve the election date and everything. Once that is done, then December, the board will have a meeting because of the election. The following meeting is January 3rd, Tuesday, January. No one have questions? So move for us to adjourn.
Go have happy hour.
Any second? We're properly second by Joe. All those in favor say aye. So moved.
Here.
Lisa?
I'm here.
Joe here? I'm here, okay. Okay, officer committee report.
Just remember that, Ernest.
Ernesto? I'm here. Okay, thank you. Okay, Sydney, officer committee report.
I sent out some proposals that I've done for you guys, one for the gate.
Okay, we'll look at the
Those,
gate.
yeah, those were emailed to you as well.
We'll look at the gate proposals and all that, we'll discuss it.
And then also to repair the front wall.
I didn't see that.
The two of them is for the two walls.
Correct.
Who's the front wall proposer?
It's SLYMAC is the name of the company.
I have Insight, Access Masters.
This is my
My
guy.
fingers don't work, so.
These are my copies, but here's the copy there. And then there's also one for just the cameras alone. But I just want to imagine.
They only have one quote from to do the wall.
Well, because I asked them, we said we're people, and they said they're going to charge. So I'm still looking to get
Okay.
Okay, I got it here. One of them is for one wall or both of them is for two walls?
both, one is for one and then the other one is for both. There's two separate ones.
Okay, but one of them is only for one wall. The one.
Which
Yes.
one will we do? We only have one wall.
There's this side and that side.
Yes. She may jump to that. Okay, let me guess. Okay.
That says
One all the way out, I think.
Okay, because he brings another one. He gives us another one. My mistake, I forgot mine.
They're posted on the website.
Yeah, I sent it to everybody by email, but she's following the one that she put it before. The one that she made.
I did?
No?
I did. I sent
Yeah,
everything by email.
We
Yes.
got this by email.
Everything by email.
I got this, I got that.
The agenda.
No, I got this by, the agenda, I got a long time ago.
He's talking about the financial report.
I didn't get a financial report.
Okay, because I sent it to everybody an agenda, different than this one. You get it?
Yeah, I know.
Huh? But this is not the one that I made.
Right, but we do the man, you have to send that to us more than 10 days in advance, because these go out.
Cindy, first of all, Cindy cannot change an agenda. She should know that.
Okay, this is a misunderstanding here, because she put one agenda, and I send another one to everybody. And the one that we have, the one that she put. Huh?
When you corrected the agenda that she's supposed to be using is the one that you sent, and she received also.
Do you receive the agenda that I sent?
I can check if you sent it recently,
Yeah. to
because
everybody.
this is done 10 days prior to the meeting, so it has to be given to me
Okay,
before it is
she
done by
said
the
it has to be 10
management company.
days before the meeting.
Because that's when we do the packet.
She should have done the agenda that this is what she cannot do an agenda without consulting with the board.
But
She knows that.
we do the agenda and we send it out every month, 10 days in advance. If you want something in the agenda, you have to send it to us prior to that 10-day cutoff, because that's when the management company puts the packet together. So I have no problem in putting in the agenda, we just need it in a certain time.
What she said?
She said that she already said that 10 days before and nobody
We
make
can't have a
any
meeting.
changes.
Excuse me. We can't have a meeting like this.
Okay.
Okay?
Let's have a meeting.
First of all,
Let her
the agenda is made by the director board, always. Secondly, management cannot make an agenda out of the room. If they make an agenda, they need to get approval from the board to go forward with the agenda. And I don't think, since they have no approval from the board, I know I never received that agenda, I didn't approve it. I don't know if the other directors received it and approved it.
Anybody approve that agenda? I didn't do it.
Yeah, but we can't run a meeting like this. We need to
But
run a meeting.
Cindy knows she cannot make an agenda
I give up.
without approval. She knows that. That is the proper procedure, have to go through the director board. She knows that, so there should not be any discussion with that.
Ernesto? No,
I'm listening to you, Richard.
I love you, but we can't run a meeting with going back and forth on the phone. So we got,
Okay, put this phone close to Richard, what you said, Richard?
I said,
I know you love me, but this is that.
I said, we can't run a meeting with you going back and forth on the phone. We gotta have the meeting, you listen. If you have any objection, when we're finished, you can object to it and then come in. But we can't do a meeting like this, going back and forth with who said what and who said that. No?
No. This is not about that objection. I'm just correcting something that we need to start out and correct it. Saying something that you know, Richard, and I know, and Cindy should know. The agenda is not done by the management company. So all I'm going to say is, let's go with the agenda that is presented by the board. Let's move forward with that.
I have my agenda.
Richard, usually,
We come back,
you know that
can we reschedule when everyone's prepared? Because I'm up to little babies at home and, you know, can we reschedule?
Yeah.
And everyone's on the same page and we're prepared, I think that's the best idea, you know?
No, I don't think.
Everyone's tired from
I don't
work.
think we should cancel this meeting. What I think we should do, Ernesto, why don't we finish this meeting without this back and forth? And then, you know, if there's something else that you need to discuss, we discuss it then. But as Richard said, we can't be meeting this way. The homeowners here are handsy about the fact that we're not having a meeting, we're having a discussion. So we didn't start this.
Okay. Follow our agenda or that agenda.
You can follow your agenda, that's fine.
Okay.
Joe,
Yes,
Joe,
yes.
I'm with you, I wasn't discussing anything, I was presenting something, but what is their agenda? What is it on the agenda that she has?
Well, it's a little bit different from what we have. But what we're going to do, we're going to follow our agenda. Okay? So let's work on the agenda that we have. The board's agenda, that's what we're going to use.
Okay, so let's go to financial report.
Okay, the financial report is very confusing. We owe 97 cents to BB&T because they gave us more money than we were supposed to get. And this is very confusing. But the Valley National Bank uses a financial report. Their statement doesn't even start out with our balance. You see this statement from Valley National Bank?
So you're looking at the actual, the balance sheet?
I'm looking at our statement from our bank account that doesn't even, starts out with deposits, doesn't even start out with a balance like we should. I think we have $56,000 in that bank account.
In the Valley National Operating, it's 71,840.72.
So they don't even start out that way. This is.
The first page is gonna be the balance sheet. And that gives you a breakdown of everything that's in each account.
It's the 8th page.
I don't want to do this. Felix.
Let's go.
I don't want to, Okay, we have $71,840 in our Valley checking account. We have 15,000 still in BB&T operating. That's wrong. We can't have $175,000 in Chase.
That was as of 1/31.
I don't care, we never could have had 170. It never had that much money in Chase in our whole life, so whatever they did wrong. No, you need to have your bookkeeper fix that. No. $175,000. Oh, maybe 15,000. I don't know, I can't read this.
Here's the 15,000.
Yeah.
It's 15,900. 15,000.
Which we've removed.
They probably removed it this month, but as of the 31st.
15,900.
Okay, so
15,000.
we have.
Remember, everything's gonna run a monthly
We have
high.
$86,000 in assets, and we have $44,000 approximately in liabilities.
What's the balance today in the bank?
$71,000 in our operating account. They don't have our reserves in here.
The reserve assets are the second set, the 56,266.
Richard, right here.
In Valley, okay, we have the second one. I'm trying to put in assets. What's due from reserves? I mean, we still owe reserve $44,000? We still owe the reserve $44,000?
No.
Or we've already paid them and that's only from last month that we owe them the $44,000?
I'll double check, but the total on the total reserve, so that's combined for both, it's 100,000.
No, that's, y'all are looking at bookkeeping error, no. We have $56,000 in reserves. It says due into reserve, we owe the reserve $44,000, we didn't pay it, so we don't have $100,000, we still owe the $44,000 unless we paid them, no, this month,
Right.
in February.
Right.
Okay, so we have 50, 70, 71, 86, 86. we have $130,000 now in the bank, and our attorney's holding like 40.
I would recommend, Richard, I would like to recommend that the mistakes be corrected they should send us a complete breakdown correctly by Monday.
Well, I'm not talking to the bookkeeper about the giving us a cash balance, but let's not do this one. Let's finish with this one. Okay. Financial report, Scott. No?
Use your growth.
Okay, management report.
We just did it earlier.
No, it was financial that one.
No, but I spoke before he did the financial about all the bids that I'm getting to repair.
Okay,
And
old
replace.
business.
Okay, all business. What proposals? I
There's
see,
several, there's for the front gates, there's also for the wall repair.
Okay, I'd like to table the wall repairs until I talk to Henry. I'm gonna talk to Henry tomorrow. I've already talked to him about this, about the wall repair. But, no, $10,000 for one wall and
for 10,000 for 2 walls.
No. 10,000 for one and 5,000 for another. It's,
No, it's 2 different proposals.
yes, I see, but there's $10,000 is one wall, 9,000 and change, and 4,000, $9,735 is one wall. Seems way too much money. No, and $4,525 is another wall. I didn't even see the other wall broken.
Okay.
But,
We'll discuss the one later
I
on.
want to talk to Henry and we'll talk about that. The gate things, no, are a little confusing, and I didn't get these in an email, so I'd like to read through them. But this one for $39,000 is with those arms that go up and down, which
For
are
all gates.
red and green, which was a very nice idea. But I don't think we can afford $39,000.
What is that? I don't have it.
It was
Right
emailed.
here from Access Masters. Then there's another one, they did, the same company did another one for 14.
Several different ones.
Was it?
What is that? Those are the proposals for the gates?
Yes, the ones
But
that
they
I
have
emailed.
like, everything's,
They just bring it today.
No, I emailed it to you previously. I
Well, I
didn't want to print 25 pages.
this I've never got.
I didn't get it by email.
I'll re-forward it to you, but I did send it.
I've never done that. But anyway, I'd like to read this before I make any comment on it, because they have two quotations for the gates, one without the blue light thing and one with it. So we're going to read this through and then see if we want to spend the money to put that kind of double gate thing
Okay,
in or
next
not.
one. What about the video proposals? Video camera proposals
I'm sorry?
for the video cameras.
That's in there as well.
That's all right.
Yes, sir. There's two. There's one from Access Masters.
Yes?
We need to back up, because
I don't want to
first we
have
talked about defense. Richard recommended to table that. Did we made a motion to table the defense issue?
Make a motion, just make a motion.
Richard recommended to table
Somebody make a motion to
want
table
to
this.
talk to Andrew. We made a motion to that,
Okay, I approve it.
Well, let's make a motion now that we look back at this and then make a decision later on. But we are not.
But not today.
Not today.
That way we are making a
Yes,
motion.
make a motion. Make a motion table.
I second.
Okay,
Second.
is that second?
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, there we go.
Okay.
Okay,
So the proposal for the gates and the videos are there.
Okay, now the following one was the gate.
What's that? The work proposals are there, the video camera proposals are there. That's the motion that we approve. Let's go to new business.
You got your agenda?
Por favor, la reunión va a ser así o porque me tengo que ir, no puedo esperar.
Okay.
Señora, yo le hago una pregunta. ¿Cuántas veces ha estado usted aquí?
En 18 años que llevo viviendo aquí voy por 19, 3 o 4 porque no resuelve nunca nada. Nadie resuelve nunca
We
nada.
need to follow an agenda.
En español porque no hablo inglés.
Ok, tenemos que seguir una agenda.
We're gonna
Ah,
get
okay.
you people's.
Mi amor, pero es que la agenda lo tienen que hacer entonces 20 minutos de que nosotros estemos aquí porque el tiempo de nosotros vale también. Yo tengo cosas que hacer en mi casa, tengo cosas que hacer conmigo.
if you guys gonna accept it, why you gotta do the meeting yourself?
Porque para eso estamos aquí nosotros, porque somos los dueños, que somos los que pagamos. ¿Cuál es el problema? No entiendo nada.
Whatever you guys propose, we'll do for the meeting yourself.
Ernesto, por ejemplo, que está hablando por el teléfono y no está aquí. Si no está aquí, entonces cancela el teléfono.
Ernest, we have a problem here with the new owners.
Just turn it off.
This is not working for us, so we need to stop this right now.
I will call you later.
Could we'll talk to you another time, but I'm going to turn this off right now. We do our meeting as we normally do. The people here are upset about it, so I'm going to cut it off right now. And we'll call you back and talk about it another time. Okay? Okay, thank you.
There you go.
Tenemos que seguir una agenda.
She's just upset because this has to be unanimously. Esto tiene que ser unánime. Las decisiones que ustedes están tomando tienen que ser unánimes con nosotros somos los que estamos
¿Cuántas veces ha
haciendo
estado usted
algo.
aquí, señora?
No, mi amor, discúlpeme, ¿cuánto trajeron esta asociación? Empezó en enero, yo llevo aquí 20 años así viviendo.
Pero eso que
Yo voy a empezar.
No, usted no me manda a callar, porque yo pago aquí. No, no, usted no me manda a callar y de esta forma menos. ¿Ok?
No,
No, yo no estoy gritando, pero él me está diciendo que el tiempo usted lleva en la reunión. El tiempo que llevo no venga, eso no es problema de nadie. Yo creo que uno viene aquí a resolver los problemas de todos los dueños, en este caso.
nosotros vamos a llegar aquí
Ajá.
cuando toca su turno.
Bueno, pero todo el mundo está protestando por lo mismo entonces que estamos haciendo aquí, que no entendemos.
¿Qué tú no entiendes? Nosotros estamos hablando en inglés.
Yes.
Ajá, yo no entiendo inglés poco.
I have someone coming out to say,
Ya,
"Look, give me a
escucha.
price."
Y cuando toca
Y ella que entiende inglés, y ella que entiende
It's gonna be
inglés,
whatever.
está diciendo lo mismo que estamos teniendo que hacer de una
yo entiendo inglés y español, los dos.
But I have someone
we
coming
understand
out
what
to
you're
say.
saying, but if you guys gonna accept it or not
Right,
accept it.
but again,
I don't know
what
I
you
give the
said.
proposals,
Because
and
you
they
were
have to
mentioning a
approve.
proposal.
Yes.
But she doesn't understand you guys agreed to get back to it later, but without consenting with us to see if we were
But
okay.
they
with
don't
it.
have to.
To make any decisions,
You-
there's a name.
You-
Maybe there needs to be a
you
backup
can ask
explain what
them-
the
you
board's
can ask them when it's
responsibility
your
is
turn.
and what
At the end of the meeting,
So it's just-
we just gotta get through the regular business, no, which is,
Yeah.
this was regular business, you can ask us why, and we'll answer you, no? The reason is we didn't get this before, it's very complicated, it's a lot of money,
I understand.
no? And we need to read it, step by step, to see if we wanna spend this much money, no, on
I
the
agree. I
gates.
Eso lo
agree.
entendemos.
But what I don't understand is when I have a meeting at work, I prepare myself for my meeting. And when I'm at my meeting, I present everything and I place everything on the
Yeah, to be
table. This has
professional.
been a disaster. The one on the phone.
Es lo mismo que estoy diciendo yo que entiendo poco el inglés.
The agenda is not correct.
Esas son cosas que
So
ellos
then if you're back and forth with her, you have to hold somebody else.
venir aquí ya con
It's always so much
cosas.
time. I've never been like a believer of association. This is the first time I'm here, and I'm here for a valid reason. Otherwise, I would not even be here. I can care less for it. I mean, it's deaf. It falls upon deaf ears because you have things that you want to make. Look, did you see down the street how black, pitch black? It feels like you're in a cave. They don't
You
put
guys,
lights
you
there.
guys see
They don't do
the
anything.
roads that
We
we make us in the cars?
money and money.
Like I'm over there and I have a go? Do you guys do something with that? I have it in my camera, it's over here.
They bring
I
it
have a couple in my camera.
Folks,
You guys did nothing.
hey, could we get back to the agenda, please? Could we start the agenda, finish the agenda, then we can talk about, you guys can talk with what the problems are, okay?
Can I just say something? Before you start with the agenda, because I think there's some confusion as to the orders and like when you're making motions and why the audience is not a part of, maybe explain why that's part of the process.
The
That
board is
No, the board makes the decision, which is fine, but everybody needs to understand. I think that's part of it. Because, yeah, you didn't have a chance, and that happens in a lot of meetings. But just understanding that these recommendations need to be tabled, and it is only unanimous for the board to decide. And later on, once it's agreed upon, then it's brought back to the group. And I think just the clarity is all that's missing.
Yeah, when we're finished with our meeting, y'all can object and give your opinions. No, and then when we have a meeting the next time, we're going to take all those recommendations into account before we do anything. We're not spending your money just to spend your money. That's why we tabled this, because we really need to read it, because we only got it today, which we should have gotten it in an email before, so we could have all read it, but we didn't. I have no email. You can read my email, you can see. I didn't get it.
With the new company, or you guys are with the old company? I don't understand how this works.
We're not any company. We're the board of directors of your association.
And you guys have always been here.
Not voted on by any of you, because nobody will come to a meeting. This is the biggest meeting we've had all year. Because nobody will come to a meeting to vote.
But you've been part of the members.
They have for a long
I've been here
time.
for 30 years. so, you know.
28 years.
It's been a while, yeah.
No, we just want the neighborhood to run smoothly. We don't want everybody to yell at
It's
us.
just everyone's tired, everyone works, and
We are
we're
too.
here, we're listening to a conversation with the members.
We
back and
don't
forth.
get paid.
Yeah, that should not have happened.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, so it's-
Yeah, that should not have
That should have happened. I tried to get it to stop
I know.
as soon as it started, no? Okay, can we get?
But by the way, for your information, that was the director of the association. So, I mean, he's part of the management committee, okay? That's why they.
That's why you try putting him in.
Yeah, exactly, but he's not in the country, he's overseas. He called it from Nicaragua. It's called, that's where it came from.
He's part of the board.
But it doesn't work like, you can't do that. That's very just annoying.
Yes.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
We can tell him anything after the meeting.
And we go forward.
Yes.
New business, you have new business.
Dog stations.
Okay. Dog stations. Go ahead, talk about it.
Okay, I recommended the dog station for that area over there. We don't have none, because we got many problems with dogs. This area has some. And in the bulletin that we received yesterday, they said that the people who are working with the dogs, they need to pick it up the popo and put it in the stations. So in that area, we don't have it.
I drove your neighborhood today. If you have other recommendations, I'll hear them. But I heard, we need one by the mailbox on, I think it's 87th Avenue, all the way down near 200th Street, no?
Yeah, but
We need one, but there's a sign, but there's no doggy station. We need one there. Where else are we gonna put a doggy station?
in the other
Because I
main
drove,
road, in the corner of 201 and 86.
201
Another
Street where
one
the fence
at the end of
needs
the
to be put back up, there needs to be one there.
do we have a park there?
There's no park there, there's enough grass to stick one there because there's a lot of people that don't pick up their dog.
In that area is a lot of dogs.
And
We
they
could
say
put- we
there's
could
no
put a dog-
signs
we
and
could
they
put a
say there's
doggy
no
food-
bag.
We could put a doggy food station on every single corner in the neighborhood, which just makes the neighborhood look like garbage. We could do that, and there's still people don't pick up. Since we put the doggy station back in back of my house, I know, because I'm right on the lake, so when they go down to the lake,
I
2/3,
recommended 3 for the whole
one
area over
out
there.
of 3 people pick up their dog much better than before, you know, and put it in the thing. Not everybody does, and they're not going to. It would be nice if they did, but they don't. I love dogs.
If they don't have the chance to do it, how they are going to do it?
The ones that are gonna pick up are gonna pick up, and the ones
They're
that
gonna
are
pick
not.
up, but we can't put doggy
We're gonna
food
create
stations
something.
all over the
I'd
neighborhood.
rather invest the money in something else.
I will vote to put one new one. No, and if you want to show me another area, I'll go look. But I haven't, I drove because of you today. I drove all the way 201st Street, all the way out and down. No, and I couldn't see another place to put one that really had enough common area that you're not going to make it look like another one of those signposts that I wanted taken down that didn't get
I
taken
think
down.
on 200 Street, it's a long street, there needs to be one there.
Okay, why don't we, the board, take a physical look at the areas that that we think needs, is, and then make a decision whether we're gonna put this there, one there, or where. But let's not sit here and discuss, you know. Yeah. Let's take a look at the station, make a decision to put what where, and that's it.
Yeah, we're all together.
Yeah, exactly. We can do it.
Okay, next one, pool rentals. I asked you for the contract for the last rental for the pool, you didn't give it to me.
Right, but I sent it to Cassie, I don't have that information, I will double check with her.
See me?
But if I'm not,
You are the manager.
Felix, but I do not do the rentals, I will get it for you, because once she puts them in, she puts them into the unit owner file.
You are the manager. We only deal with you. And ask you to give me the contract and check it out because something more normal. And then I wanna see it.
I will have it for you tomorrow.
Do you hear Larissa?
Yes, I do. What's next?
Okay. Security concerns, they are not here.
Los security decía yo no.
Yeah.
Security is here, outside.
Yeah, he's outside.
Yeah, but we have to make a meeting today now.
Hold a second. We had a plan
We're not here
to meet with the security company because we had problems with that. We need to set that meeting up.
I tried, but he is out of town, he's out of the country.
Okay?
Yeah, but let me ask you a question. Why do we have 1 month asking for a meeting, nothing happens?
When is the gentleman coming back?
He's back, and as I said, I requested, but he's out of the country.
But when do you request it? 30 days later?
But I told you that he was coming back in February, and I requested it in February. He came back in February.
It was 1 month ago that we are here in the meeting, that we said that we had a meeting with the security.
Yes, and
You
then
just
we
make an
had
app.
a
You try to do it yes
conversation.
today, and that was impossible because the security is traveling outside the country.
And again, they don't inform us of that, so
So
how
we
would
have
I
to
know that
hold
he's
that
out
one
of the
too.
country?
Okay, resident concerns and resident questions. Who's first? No, this is the agenda that I made.
Yeah, go ahead. Go.
Okay. Instead of,
Yes.
Well, before we get to that, is there any way possible that you guys can put a light pole in this corner right here? I drive sometimes at 5 or 6 in the morning and it's so pitch black, you can't see a thing. I think there should be a light, that's a common area, this street, once you exit the pole, the 186, that's the main street.
84 there.
84,
So very
it's
dark.
pitch black. It's scary.
When you
You
get
can't
out,
see
when you
anything.
get out, just take a look.
You can't even drive.
Walk for him.
You know, I think that would be,
We can make a recommendation to put a light bulb in. I just want you to know, it takes a very long time. We can do it.
Oh, whoa.
We can do it tomorrow morning. But Florida, we need to get approval from Florida Power and Light. Then we got to buy the light bulb, have the base set. And then Florida Power and Light has to come in and draw wires after 9 permits. I'm not teasing. That's how we did it
I
the
mean, it's a
first.
common street.
We had no
the
lights
problem
when we
is
first
wiring.
moved in the neighborhood. We had no lights on any street. We had to put them all in. No, and it took us 3 years.
Oh, we understand.
And it wasn't because we didn't have the money or anything to do. It's just because Florida Power and Light makes it very, very difficult. We'll go look at your area. Is it in our neighborhood though?
Oh, it's
Yeah,
straight,
right here.
straight over here, the main street.
Common street.
As of the second house here by the lake, that's not our neighborhood anymore.
No, it's right before it's right by your house.
Yeah, the poles they're actually there, the lights are just burned out, they're just burned out.
So,
So it's an exterior place.
That's
Yeah,
the
we just need to
problem.
vote.
Okay.
the lights are burned out.
Okay.
Common street.
I have a
that's where
question, I have a
it-
statement. If you see something like that and it's an FPL light, all you need to do is contact the management
No,
company.
yeah, so all you can do is call
And
me.
we will call FPL and have them come out, but I'm not here at night, so I'm not gonna know that the light is out. But if you call us or you email us and say, hey, the light is on the corner of here, or it's in front of my house, this is my
Okay, I'll get your
address,
contact info.
we call FPL and we follow up with them until they come out.
If it's just a
Now,
pole, we can
don't
take
feel
care
that
of
they're
it.
gonna come in a week. It might take a month, but we know that it's an issue, and we will follow with them consistently until they come out and get it taken care of. But if you guys don't let
We
us
had a
know,
whole
we
bunch of
won't
lights go
know.
out because of this little teeny tiny storm we had, you know, and some of the things, the transformers burned, which we had, the one
But
right
that
out
one's been like
here.
that forever since I can remember. It's been way before the storm. Now, I have a concern. I don't know if you guys can help us with this, but we paid double association fees in November and December when the changes came into effect of the change of companies. And we pay the new homeowner association company for the month of November, December, and the old company also charges for November, December automatically. So I contacted the new company and they told us that from those 2 months, we only had a $98 credit because I believe they're charging us a $30 return payment because I tried disputing it. But we paid 2 months, double.
Hey, honey.
This is what you do.
Yes.
Give me your address, I will look into it for you because
Because of course, you
typically,
can just peruse it.
Yeah.
Did we finish your?
I don't know.
Before we started with people?
Yeah, I don't know if that's happened to anyone.
According to
Because I had,
My neighbor
I
said the
said
same
I saw.
People were enrolled automatically and I spoke to
did you see,
Kathy.
okay?
And she told me, you have a credit of $98, but we paid $128.67 times 2.
Okay.
It does 98. So I'm thinking that from the $30 return fee is where they're deducting.
Yeah, that's $30 that.
But we shouldn't be deducting because I have proof here on my phone that we
Did you
paid
call and do a stop payment on a check?
That was tough.
with the old company.
Yeah, but we
With the old
did it in January.
But then.
Yeah, no, but
here's the check.
you're gonna still charge me
No. In December, here's the check that was sent out in December, and look at the memo, that was for November and December to the new company.
Yeah.
So even if I stopped a payment on that, this was still already in effect when I made that stop payment.
Yeah,
It makes no
they
sense.
charge us from the
Twice.
old and the new one.
You have
And we got-
Cassie's email, correct?
Yes,
I'm
I
gonna
do.
give you mine as well.
Okay.
What I need for you to do is email me the bank statement showing where the payments came out because that's the only that
And the
we're gonna
check
be
stubs,
able
I'll show you,
to.
the check,
Oh,
the copy of the check.
Right, but you have to email it to me, I'm not gonna be able to.
That's okay, no, that's fine.
I'm gonna send it to you right away.
I have a question. We used to pay before 128.
Sir, we're going in.
Okay, no problem.
Are y'all finished?
No, the other thing is that we gave Rob
Send it to me, Andrew.
like 3 to 4 weeks
Send it to
ago
her, CC me, so
my
I know
house.
it's gonna work with her.
for like, was like 4 or 5 kids.
Thank you.
We gave Rob
Oh,
over
this
here.
is consistent, like, it's happened already a couple of times, they just,
I
the whole block.
3 times.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I got
in
the
the house,
house.
and police said, why didn't I shoot the kids? That's because they were
Wow.
kids. No,
That's one of the
You gotta
reasons
call the police.
why we need to have this meeting with security company. Yes, you're not the only ones. We have had, other residents here that have the same problem. So that's the reason why.
They stole my phone.
No, what I'm saying,
With all their telephone numbers.
they're getting this going over here, smoke cocaine, smoke marijuana, the whole night, and nobody does
But
nothing.
you do realize that I don't care how many, if we put a guard in front of each one of your houses, still somebody's gonna get robbed. And we can't afford to put a guard in front of each one of your houses. Now, we have a guard for the gate, it doesn't do a lot, it's better than nothing. It deters some people, but most of these people that are robbing your houses live here.
Yeah, no, they live here, they get it to the corner and they smoke
Yeah.
marijuana the whole night, and nobody does nothing with
When
those
we
guys.
first moved here, we had to call the police multiple times because they were smoking and doing drugs in the corner. We
Yes.
have kids, you
In
remember?
the common area.
But
In the
We got rid of
business
them.
parking
Stop.
space.
when it comes to robbery and things like that, really, we used to have, back in the old days, a community watch.
Right.
And there were a bunch of nosy men and women that looked out all the time, which was good for us, you know? But we don't have them anymore looking around. No? We used to have one guy who used to drive around in his car all night. No?
If we wanna do something, the community has to be involved. But 99% of the meeting here, we are alone. Nobody can be here.
Yeah, nobody
That
comes.
means that nobody cares. And when they have a problem, look at what happened.
No, it's not like that because I got 2 small kids. And to leave my kids at home, I have to call my mother-in-law. So she has to take care of the kids so I can come.
Okay, but
I finished working right now.
But 2 months ago, they had 7 cars
I
here.
had 2 small kids that are now 40.
I understand.
So you know where we're coming
So you know what we're doing.
Next,
All right,
next.
any more questions?
This lady over here.
A sticker, how do I get a sticker from this lady?
Okay.
Email it to Cassandra? Okay. I'll email it to you.
So are they gonna change the system with the entrance or the cars, the stickers?
That's what we.
Anyone can put a sticker there, any sticker, that's the correct sticker.
This is part of it.
Just what we tabled,
Okay.
so we can read it.
Okay.
Okay, well, thank you, gentlemen, I'm gonna go because yeah, thank you so much for your time.
When you send me the email, just put a little note in there, hey, email me the form, I'll email it to you, you can email it back and she'll put it in the for you.
I don't know
Okay, so
why,
then you have
but
the form.
Yeah, just
last
send it and we'll send
year,
you.
I sent an email
Send all the.
requesting the
Your daughter,
station
your email for her?
repair, the driveway, and I haven't received any answer.
Thank you.
I have here the email that was sent on June last year. Nobody answered me, and I was
But
waiting.
you can't have an extension for a whole year. Maybe they would give you an
No, I
extension.
asked for the extension on the repair since last year, and
I
I was waiting. They said, yeah, it's gonna take time, but it's been almost a year, 8 months.
I will send you that.
Nobody answered?
Nobody answered me
Señora.
my emails.
Send you that. Dulce Senso como, you wanted an extension, okay, we gave you an extension now for a year. Now the extension's over.
They give it to you now. They give it to you
No,
We
now.
gave, we're going
But
back.
nobody answered me.
She's
That's
not
the
gonna
problem.
answer. You got it now.
Nobody answered me.
I understand, but
They give it to you
you've
now.
already had an extension now for a year,
You
right?
got it right now.
For a whole
I have
year.
to pay for
So
it.
you had an extension, so now we're not giving you any more extension. No? Yeah, the extension's over.
I don't have any extension. Nobody.
No, you can't have an extension. We declined your extension. You've already got a year's extension. That was enough. A year is enough. You know you can go out in front of your house and you can look at your house and you can see if your house is up to standards or not. You know, we don't have to tell you. The management company goes by and looks at your house and sends you a report. No, then you're going to be fined if you don't do it. You asked for an extension. They didn't answer you. But now you've been a whole year waiting for them to answer you. 8 months. You've been 8 months waiting for them to answer you about your extension. Well, now
No
we say,
extension. I sent the request. I was waiting. Then I was fixing my house inside because my house inside it was a mess when I bought it. And then when I'm finishing the inside. But I need to do the driveway, but I haven't received anything. I did it with time, and I haven't received any answer.
No, I think
She
she's saying
submitted
that
an
she's,
ACC
the
request.
ACC form
You sent an
request that they
ACC
have not
form?
approved.
Yeah, it's here. I don't know if it's this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is,
And I sent it by email on June last year, at the end of June. I have here the email,
I believe you.
and nobody answered me. I was waiting, I start fixing inside my house, but nobody answered me.
You should have just did it.
Okay.
That's fine.
You're only going to paint your driveway?
No,
But it
I'm
says-
gonna repair and
Repair.
stand.
Stamp it, repair it.
Okay, that's why you didn't get an answer. You need to give us plans, on what the extension you're going to do.
But I could receive an answer with that explanation, that you need to
Yeah,
send
you need
to
to
us.
send in 60 days, they should have given you an answer. No, have no idea why they didn't, but I can do this right now. This is disapproved. You need to bring us, I'll write on here so you can understand. You need to bring us plans of how your extension is going to be.
And pictures and colors for everything they're gonna do.
Someone told me because that it was because we have to ask for a permission to the city, I don't know.
No,
Because
see,
I've never been.
No, nothing about-
Community with.
You need to bring up, first, the city is between you and your contractor. They're going to have to pull plans for the permits for you. Between us, before you go to the city, you need to get approval from us to go to the city. Now, that you need to bring us back what you want, how you want to change the driveway. We don't care if you're just going to repair your driveway, but if you're going to extend your driveway, if you're going to, it just says right here, extension. That's why they probably did write back to you and you didn't get it. They probably wrote you a letter back, because that company that was before didn't email. But they probably wrote you a letter back and said, no, we need plans of how you plan to do your extension.
And
So, no, according to that where's this violation? According to this violation, no, right back to, again, this violation, with the plans for what you want to do for the driveway, no, and they'll take this violation off, because they'll know you're repairing your driveway, no? You get the contractor, or however you want to do it, to just submit the set of plans he wants to do.
And how many days do they have to get back at her?
How many does it say on the
60.
notice?
Okay, so if they don't
60
get back
of a
to you in
completed,
60 days,
of a completed. It has to be a completed one.
you have to
Well, I already disapproved that one, so.
She's gonna send it
Right,
to
but
you.
it's not 60 days, because you can send it in 60 days and it's not complete. It's 60 days of whenever we receive a complete one. So you can send it to me tomorrow, but if it's not complete, your 60 days did not start until you issue a completed one with the plans, the contractor information. That's a complete package. It might take you 10 days to get all that information together, and you've already sent it to us. Just make sure when you send it in, everything is complete, because that's when your 60 days starts.
Yeah, but you're gonna respond to her and say, this
Yes,
is
this is what you need.
it.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
Okay, next.
Anything else?
You got something to say?
You wanna go there or go?
Okay.
Me?
You-
Yeah, so I have two requests that were denied, and I'd like an explanation of why, so we can address them. The first one was about, this one I can't actually tell if it was denied or approved. It was a request for solar panels.
Well, the solar panels, I don't
The
think.
solar panels were.
The solar panels were
Approve the
approved.
solar panels
Approved.
with the, but
No, no, but approved.
you need to send the plans, because you need to send the.
I sent that in, but according to the letter, it says it was denied.
But we don't do
Because you
this.
need the
We just,
plans.
we have a page with a different form.
They sent you that because your package wasn't complete. You need to send the contractors,
Okay, so I've sent all of that, but that's what the response should be. This is what I received. This is all I received. So the response should be, listen, we received your request, you need to provide X, Y, and Z, which I've done now because I talked to the
Right,
property manager.
and it will be resubmitted. As far as the metal roof, that is a board decision. They do not approve metal roof.
So that's what I want to know.
Yeah, we.
Why?
You see, this is the form,
Mhm.
and we answer here, approve it or disapprove it, and sign it here.
Okay.
You have to go to the internet.
I submitted
Right, he
that
has all
form. I
that.
have my package.
He wants to know why the metal roof was denied.
he did that. He wants to know why it was denied
The
for the
metal
metal
roof.
roof.
Well, first was the solar, so now we're
The solar
gonna.
panels are approved.
They're gonna approve it. Okay. So now the metal roof.
It wasn't approved.
Okay, what's the problem with this?
You denied it, and I want to know why metal is being denied.
Because nobody has it here. And you are going to check the whole configuration of the document.
So you're denying it based on its metal or based on the aesthetics of what it looks like?
The aesthetic of the whole community has to be the same.
Okay, so I don't disagree with you, but I'll challenge your definition of aesthetics. Okay? So these two houses sit directly side by side next to each other in this community. This is what I want to do. I would challenge that this two houses look more similar aesthetically than these two houses.
The
Both of
names
these,
of the roofs are the same. Your barrel roofs, that's the problem.
but you're talking aesthetics.
The configuration of the whole community is in the barrel roof. So, and that is barrel roof. That's that
West.
playmaker. That's it.
I'm not understanding your explanation, sir.
Okay.
It has to be a barrel roof,
Why?
because, look around here, all the roofs here are barrel roofs.
Right?
We're not gonna change because you want to bring in a non-barrel roof. That doesn't work. It has to be what we already have here. That's what the bylaws calls for.
That's not what the bylaws call for. The bylaws call for an aesthetics. Listen, I sat on the board for 2 years. I understand. I've been part of this. And I don't want to challenge you guys. I don't want to fight you guys because I understand that the decisions you make have to represent the entire community. I fully understand that. I just want to get to the understanding because you're saying because no one else has tile, we don't want to do tile. But the fact of the matter is what you're saying is you want to do it on aesthetics. And I'm saying this aesthetics, if you look at this, looks more like that than the house next to
Well, let's
it.
change the word, change that word.
Okay?
It has to be similar to what we have here. We can't go out of what we have already out here. It has to be a barrel tiles.
Okay.
Period.
Okay, so I'll go back. I mean, obviously you guys don't want to discuss this, so your statement was 60 days, right? Well, you'll notice that my request was put in more than 60 days ago and I didn't receive a response. So how do we want to deal with that?
Was it 60 days of a completed application?
It was 60 days from when it was submitted. There was absolutely no response to me whatsoever for over 70 days.
There was no response.
No response. No response whatsoever.
It was submitted, again, prior to me being the manager, because I did have to go back and research. It was submitted prior to me, so I can't speak to the prior manager, and I do apologize for that, because it was submitted prior to me being the manager.
I can show you when it was submitted.
If it was
If there was
seen
no-
before, I mean, it should have been.
Listen, Richard, I came here to really discuss this
Oh,
with
you
you
know
guys.
I love you
Yes.
guys. No, you know I do. No, and you gotta do what you have to do.
Right?
Okay, you need to do what you have to do. I agree with you 100%. We made a decision. I spoke to you on the telephone about this before, so it's with no secret. It's not like you're right. I'm not saying you're wrong. You're right. And I explained to you why we didn't want this, because as soon as we do, every other person is going to want to put in something that they think in their mind, is more beautiful. And I know what this costs. I've gone over this with you. We've spoken about it. You got to do what you have to do. We can't change our mind about this.
That's what I want to talk to you about, though, Richard. I'm not trying to change your mind anymore. You've already committed to me that you're not willing to listen to my arguments.
I am.
You made your statement, right? So I accept that. My question to you is, I'm trying to be reasonable. I'm trying to be a homeowner. You obviously don't want this. So I'm asking you, technically, according to the bylaws, I am approved to do this.
Yes.
According to the bylaws, you are.
So what do we want to do about that? Are you telling me I am, so just do it? I mean, I don't want to have a fight with you guys.
We're not going to say that at all. We would be, shooting ourselves in the foot and the head. So what I'm telling you is you need to do what you have to do.
Okay, Richard, so then...
I can't tell you what to do. I'm telling you that...
Okay, but the question is when I do this...
You're probably going to get a letter from the attorney.
Right.
And you're probably going to have to go and fight it.
So instead of going through all of that, why don't we have a discussion about it?
You can't change it.
Can you
I told
request
you
signature
this.
for all the neighbors? Because
You can't do that, but that's never going to work. We tried this.
You need 2/3 of the, but it doesn't...
Oh, that would be
When
easy
you
to
bring
correct.
those applications here, I believe it was in December or the meeting was in January, at the beginning of January, we told you, we approve your
I've never spoken with you guys about this.
It's two different people. It's two different medical requests. Richard,
she said it.
The thing is,
I've never spoken to you guys about this. I submitted it by email to the
Now this one I know what this is.
So
I have pictures
the
of it.
whole point is I'm trying to be reasonable. I don't want to just do it and then get into a fight with you.
The ball is in your court. Do whatever you feel like you want to.
What I wanted to do is have a reasonable discussion with the board about what we could
That if
do.
somebody wants to go and change the color, they go and speak to these.
With your solar
Okay, so
panels
he can go
that
and
we
make.
will approve.
One was everybody agreed with
There won't be any fight at all. Otherwise, I need you to do what's in your best interest. No, because, no. We fought,
Understood.
okay?
Understood. Thank you.
I go, I'm sorry.
I got a situation with my neighbor's tree. It's a huge tree, like probably 50 feet tall.
A what?
50 feet tall.
A tree?
What's the address?
But the thing is, all the droppings come to my car. Right now, we are not using half of the driveway. On all the leaves, we just pick it up in the morning, and in the afternoon it's full of leaves. I talked to my neighbor, and he said, the association said that tree can be touched.
No,
They can trim it.
the tree has to be so many foot high, and clearance, so a truck could go through without touching it. If it's not, they need to trim it. And if they don't trim it, you call the management company, they'll go over and they'll inspect it and they'll send them a fine for not trimming. But as far as the trees go, the oak trees and there are a whole bunch of trees in this neighborhood that if you cut down, the city will come in and fine you, thousands and thousands of dollars.
I'm not saying that
It's against the law.
I just said, it's just.
Well, you're allowed by law to cut your neighbor's tree from your property line all the way up to the sky. You can cut your neighbor's tree, you're allowed by law to prune your neighbor's tree from your property line, from here, all the way up to heaven. So you can cut the neighbor's tree yourself, you can call it a company.
The tree is in his side.
Yeah,
Right, but where are the branches?
The branches that are going over your side, they're going over your side?
Some of them are because it's so high, when the birds are on the top, it goes to my side.
Well, I understand, but you can't bring that's God, that's nature. I'm saying, it's cosas de la
Naturaleza.
Yeah, I do understand that part,
No puede hacer nada.
but there's no way I can paint my driveway, I can do nothing, because it doesn't make sense.
Yes, you can. I have leaves come all the time. We have thousands of leaves we pick up every day from just today. Today we had the gardeners came and brought up thousands of leaves from the community. Great big piles they took away in trucks. We do that every month here. In my house, I have to go out every single day with the power hose to clean off the pupu del pato.
Pero es que ese es el árbol más grande.
Sí, yo sé, pero ese árbol es de viejo. Que la ciudad,
No estamos pidiendo que lo corten de raíz, pero sí que por lo menos lo ponga más bajito.
Pero no puede, la ciudad dice que no puede. Necesita, tengo la capa, ¿cómo se la paga?
Primero tienen que hablar con la ciudad. ¿Qué se puede hacer?
Porque es que todos han cortado el árbol más
Sí,
o
todo el
menos
mundo ha
hacia el
cortado el
segundo
árbol.
piso de la casa.
al 30% de árbol.
They can cut, they're allowed to cut.
Cut the neighbor.
They can cut the neighbor's tree, their neighbor's tree. If it's overhanging their property, they can go from their property line all the way up to the sky, and cut all those branches that are hanging over on their yard off, with no problem at all. But they can't make their neighbor take the tree down or do anything with the tree, especially because Dade County doesn't let the neighbor do it.
Pero podemos cortar lo que son los
Todo lo que está arriba de su propiedad, tú puedes cortar.
Yo decía a mi esposo, hace un año yo pedí una...
Está mejor si tú hablas con su vecino.
No, es imposible.
¿Ah?
Es imposible. Es un vecino problemático.
Ok, entonces nada más corta el árbol de su propiedad aquí, corta una línea recta, dice la...
Nosotros una sola vez y el día de golpes a mi esposo.
¿Está corto?
Sí, el día de
Entonces tú me llamas a la policía.
Entonces no.
Tú coges un, ¿cómo se llama esta cosa?
Restraining
A restraining order. How do you say in Spanish?
restricción. La restricción.
La casa donde nosotros vivimos es por la 196 Terras. La casa al frente de
Sí, yo
nosotros
entiendo,
no
perfecto.
tiene casas
Yo
frente
entiendo,
a frente.
el board no puede hacer nada con él.
Nosotros no podemos hacer nada.
Nosotros, por la verdad, con pena, porque nosotros queremos hacer algo, pero
Hace un año estoy haciendo una petición a la asociación y es donde nosotros vivimos, al frente no hay casas frente a frente. Entonces esa cuadra, los muchachos la cogen para hacer carreras de carros. Aparte de que
Car racing.
Nadie me llama a la policía, señor.
estoy cansada, tengo 2 reportes de policía que yo las he traído aquí. 2 reportes de policía las he traído.
We need a speed bump.
esa petición la tengo de que si me pueden poner.
Speed bump.
Where? What's the address? What's the
In
location?
the 83 and 196 there, somewhere over there.
Write down, what do you want? Give me the address of your house
83,
so we can go and drive by and we can see. What?
8339 Northwest 196 there.
196 Terrace. Okay, we'll go to
Okay,
Permiso, discúlpeme que ahorita me alteré un poquito porque es que estoy eso. Pero necesito saber porque él es mi vecino y llevo casi 20 años viviendo y nunca he tenido problemas y todo lo hago sobre la ley. Ustedes son de, porque como uno llegó y no se presentaron, más o menos yo vengo pero no lo conoce. Él, por ejemplo, trajo a su hija para que le tradujera, yo no traje la mía. Mi vecino, ¿de qué? ¿Del board? ¿De aquí? Él es de la asociación, que acaban de cambiarse nuevo, ¿no?
presidente.
De ahora, pasando enero. Usted, Richard, que creo que se llama.
Treasurer Wolf.
¿De qué? De...
El tesorero.
Ok. ¿Y mi vecino? El presidente.
Vicepresidente.
Y el presidente Ernesto.
No, ese fue.
Se fue. Entonces mi vecino es vicepresidente. Entonces está bueno, perfecto. Ya, porque quería saber, porque como vengo aquí para nunca
Y ella es la secretaria.
Nunca he tenido problema aquí, gracias a Dios, pero eso le llegó a mis vecinos. En realidad, sí, le llegó a mi vecino, pero en realidad el pago llegó hace 2 años a mi casa llegó. Y en este momento hay un pavo y una pava. Nosotros le echamos comida. Yo tengo míos 4 gatos, que son míos. Pero ahora en este momento, cuando yo echo comida, vienen 4 o 5 más. Yo no los puedo matar. Entonces me están pidiendo esa casa. Un pavo real.
I could not differentiate the address, so I sent one to each, figuring whoever didn't do it would call and say, hey, it wasn't me, and I would take it off. But it's in the middle of the house, I couldn't tell who it was, I'm not gonna send it to
Bueno, a mi casa no ha llegado, llegó a mi vecino de al lado y yo le dije, porque tengo que ver yo más con
So if it's
eso
not her,
que
then it's her
ellos.
neighbors, and we would remove
Quiero
it.
saber qué es lo que pasa para el problema. Yo nunca he tenido problema con la
There's
situación
a
hasta ahora.
bowl, and you're feeding them with, you're not supposed to feed wild animals. That's just the thing.
She's not feeding the wild animals.
No,
She's
yeah,
feeding her cats.
Her cats are outside, maybe the bowl.
But the bowl is gonna attract the wild
Los
animals.
gatos que tú tienes, es decir, va a ser gatos de adentro de la casa, no a gatos de afuera de la casa. Los animales en el barrio no pueden ser afuera sin collar, ¿no? No sabe juntar gatos porque mi hermana...
Los míos, por ejemplo, están operados. Yo los operé, yo me gasté dinero y los
Los
operé.
gatos dar comida adentro de la casa y guardar los gatos adentro de la casa con ¿cómo se llama? Los cocinos donde ellos cagar adentro o llevar afuera su patio cuando tú estás con ellos, pero no puedes dejar los gatos afuera solo. Y lo
Y los demás que no son míos, ¿qué le hago? Los mato. Los otros gatos que no son míos, que vienen a comer.
no da comida.
Y yo no le doy comida a los míos, en mi portal,
No da comida.
en mi propiedad, no le puedo dar comida.
Ni en su propiedad, ni en otra propiedad. Ellos son animales, ¿cómo se llama? Muy bonitos, pero son salvajes. Salvajes.
Y hay 1 millón aquí. No importa que
Hasta la gente trae animales porque les gustan y los botan a la calle.
Nosotros no hacemos
Yo por lo menos los mando a operar.
Es un
Voy a estar
vecino
constante
tuyo que
en
viene aquí y en vez
Ellos
de
no resuelven el problema.
que le decía a la madre que son que cuando
No,
va por el
porque
carro
te
ellos
traen
van para
gatos,
atrás de
esos
ellos,
vecinos
¿no?
te traen
Ellos
gatos,
están aquí,
pero
eso
si
porque
no se
manda a la
acuerdan.
persona ahí para
Bueno.
ver qué pasó.
Ok,
¿no?
por ejemplo, mis vecinos que llevan años desde que yo llego ahí, nunca hemos tenido problemas. En ninguno de mis vecinos, porque los de al frente han tenido 7, 8 perros.
Pero solamente
y no-
tú no das comida a los animales más y no vas a tener problemas.
Bueno, a los míos les voy a seguir dando,
Sí.
que tenga problemas donde tenga que ir, porque a los míos les voy a seguir
Si
dando.
si tu vecino quiere dar comida, él va a tener los problemas, no tú. Entonces no da comida más y ya. ¿no?
Esa es la solución.
Ya. yo no da comida, yo me encantan los paticos, pero yo no da comida a los patos porque si yo da los patos,
Y entonces,
cagan en
ok, y todos los demás que los patos porque han matado mucho y los demás
como un perro, como un
Ok.
perro.
Ay, pero es que eso no tiene solución. Eso no es
Si
solución.
no fuera que así como...
Eso no fuera solución de los
Cogieran a los animales, cogieran a los muchachos que venden droga aquí
Pero si
y
no
se
son
hicieran lo
tuyos.
mismo.
Le estoy diciendo que míos son 4 gatos, los
Sí,
demás.
nada, olvídate de su gato. Si no son tuyos, el pico, y no da comida, llama nada.
Sí, pero ya los tengo y ¿qué le hago?
Hay una señora que vivía aquí por años, ya se fue. Ella tenía 40 gatos, ¿no? Al frente de la casa. Ella dice, no son míos. No son tuyos. Pero ella pone comida en todo alrededor de la casa, por los gatos vienen, entonces todos los gatos que están molestando los carros de los vecinos, como rapando el jardín de los, porque ellos cagan donde quieren, ¿no? Entonces, nosotros mandamos la ciudad ahí, te limpia toda la casa y saca todos los gatos. Nosotros estamos diciendo, no va a comida a los pájaros y ya.
Okay, move forward.
Ya.
Señora.
Yes. Over a year ago, we received a letter from the association. So we live on the perimeter of 82nd Avenue. Wooden fences going all the way down. Repair it. That letter was over a year ago, like you need to repair it around Christmas time. Okay, that's a whole year and a few months going by. What is going to happen with that fence? We was told it was the home association's responsibility at least paint it on the outside. What is happening with the wooden fence all along this line here?
All the wooden fences behind your houses belong to you.
We know that, okay. So they've been repaired, and it's been a while. What paint color? Who's supposed to be painting the outside? So we were told we were not supposed to be doing that. This is one color. It was an association responsibility. Last meeting we went to, association. Now, of course, it's a different manager.
I've been a manager.
Yeah.
I've been on this board now for 6 years.
I'm just saying, we've been here.
Well, I've
And
never
we
had
were told,
anybody
we
get
were
that
told,
way.
so the bottom line
I would
is,
love to rip all those
The fences
fences out
is-
and put a wall up, but we can't afford it.
fine, I'm not asking that, I'm just saying.
You can paint it any color that is approved by the board.
That's what I'm saying, so you're gonna have so many, so
Yeah,
different colors.
she's talking about the outside.
Because some
I
people
received a letter saying that the association was gonna pay it, now you said you could,
I'm
we pay
saying,
for
this
it.
changes all the time.
Yeah, we don't pay for your fence at all.
One's outside though.
We don't.
The association painted their whole fence with one color, it has been one color for years, until it started deteriorating, for years. And they've been repaired, and they've been repainted by the association, so now,
That's why, in order to paint your fence, you need to get an architectural control approval. And we're gonna only approve one color to paint the fence. So when your neighbor does his fence, and he gives us an approval for what color he wants to paint it, we're only gonna let him paint it the same
okay, but they,
color.
okay, we always have several different colors right now.
The fence is outside,
I understand that.
and the fence,
I have a
previous
fence.
fence
I have
was
two
red.
fences.
No, I'm talking when you get out of this complex and you make a left here, there's like a whole
I
strip.
understand.
There's brown fence, there's
But there shouldn't be.
red,
It should only be one color.
because they were knocked down,
Because they
and they
did-
put them back
Yeah,
up.
but and they
So
didn't-
who
and
is
they didn't get
responsible for
approval.
painting all of that wall?
They are. Each person that owns the fence is responsible for painting the fence, and each person should have gotten approval, architectural control for, and filled it out, and gotten approval from the board of what color they could paint their fence. And we would have given them one color for the whole row. If they asked for purple, orange, green, and pink, and blue, and fuchsia, we would have said, no, 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 no.
Or red, some type of red.
Well, I would approve red either. It has
Well,
to
that's
be-
what it is.
It has to be like a natural color. But now everybody that's gonna do their fence, like she takes her fence already, she
Now
wants
it's
to,
brown.
you wanna paint it, bring it to us, we're gonna pick a color.
Over a year ago, we received that letter. We had the management company come out. He went out with my husband. We showed him, that's before the storm. What is the problem? He said, well, on the outside is the association will be paid. Okay,
You
so
wanted
that's what
to,
they
you
wanted.
wanted to keep it
Sir,
brown?
Mr. Wiley,
Yeah.
there's a letter saying that, the association would pay for it. Are we the only ones that got that letter?
Yeah, I don't know, but we're not paying for it. So,
And, okay,
You're
so simple.
For your lawyer.
You can look in your bylaws and you can see that you're responsible for your fence on your property.
Listen, we don't have a problem, we were just told that before, so now
I understand
we're
that.
coming here to know
Whoever
what
told
we
you-
need to do now, because you know, we have unpainted and painted fences, different colors,
submit.
and nothing has come out to us or let us saying, okay, you all need to get a ACC approval and get a color. Nobody
Well,
ever says.
I'm telling you right now, so you know. Because all you need to do is submit the ACC form, the color you'd like to paint the fence, and we're gonna write back to you with the color that we're gonna tell you that.
Yeah, so why don't we just ask for what's the color?
What?
Can't gotta be one color.
Because you just asked for it
I'm
now,
just saying,
I've never heard
it's a
about this
request
before.
color.
And I've been on this board for 6 years, and you said this happened a couple
We
years ago.
had a management company literally come
I don't
out
care,
and
the
with us.
management company doesn't make these decisions. The
Because we
management.
came to association meeting, and that's when they offered to come out, is what I'm
Our
saying.
agent cannot tell you anything that goes against the bylaws. They can't do it. If they did, they made a mistake, and you can go sue them.
Is there somewhere in the bylaws also? Is there somewhere in the bylaws? Is there somewhere in the bylaws also said about accordions when they need to be open and not open? Is there a page in the bylaws?
You can, and during a storm, you can close your accordions, and after the storm, you need to open them up.
Yes, it is. There's a page in the bylaw books.
Yes.
Because I was told that.
You can pull it up on the computer and read it.
Also.
Why, you want to keep them closed?
No, mine is open, but I did receive a letter, we had a couple of them closed. And what I'm saying, I keep my house, that's not the problem. The problem is, okay, like over a year we've been dealing with the fence. We get 2 different stories, okay, so I open my accordion, but I look in the neighborhoods and I see abandoned houses, I see townhomes that's disgusting, and I'm like, it almost seems like me and my neighbors who are really trying hard to keep our homes up are the ones that are getting letters. And when we try to respond and do something, you know.
Just know that when I go through, I do not discriminate. So if I see a house, everyone gets a letter. If I see it, I'm getting a letter.
I know, so you're saying for a year or 2, people can just sit and have the same problems and nothing get
Unfortunately,
done.
I can't speak to what that previous management company did. I can only speak to what I'm doing.
Those houses that you see.
So you're saying something has been done,
They
that means what
have
they
thousands of
who are out
dollars
of
worth of
compliance.
liens against them. But we cannot actually kick the people out of the neighborhood. We can foreclose on their house, but the banks usually have a mortgage, and the banks have priority on those houses. So if we foreclose on the house, the people just sit there, and then they don't pay their mortgage payment either. And then until the bank finally forecloses, so then we can get our money from the bank, but we don't even get all of it. They pay us like a year's worth, because that's the law.
I think that's my question, 'cause I know we try really hard to keep our house up, but we see for years, things are going on.
Yeah, I received the book for the payment on November the 11th. My payment was on November the 1st. It used to be 128, but it was an increase of 67 cents. No, I'm talking about the increase.
I talked to the bookkeeper just yesterday about the same thing, and I told her, anybody that calls and complains about the 67 cents, just give them a credit, and
Well, what happened is, this is open something. When I move over here.
They sent me a letter, I owe $2 and 1
Yes,
cent.
I got that one. Yeah, you told me, yeah, you told me that. I received the letter, this one, but
How much you owe?
it's not that much. It's just $5 with 36 cents.
Oh, I only got $2 and 1 cent.
But what happened is,
But I told her,
I have a credit since I moved over here when I bought my property for $397. I sent the email to the management company, the one in Miramar, and sorry, in Coral Springs. I sent like 9 emails with all my payments without missing one, and also a copy of my balance, positive balance on my account that 2 management company back disappeared. A gentleman called me, I have his name, he told me, you know what? You own us $397. And I say, no, the opposite. That's my money that is as a credit. They go, you know what, we're going to get it even. So he put the account in 0. Now, I received one of the email, or when I spoke to the person over the phone, because I called several times and leave also voicemail, told me, you missed the payment on February. I sent all the payments, but I didn't receive any email back. They told me that they're gonna answer me back, but no answer.
You are lucky.
My name is Ignacio Soto.
And you spoke with Cassandra?
Yes, many times. As a matter of fact,
Very friendly.
I had the conversation
Excuse me,
before also
Cassandra
because my
has
phone
very
recorded the
bad
conversation.
manners.
Yes.
Really bad.
Okay, you know what? You sent me 9 emails, but I didn't have time to read it. I say, well, guess what? From the I have proof. I have all my payments.
What's
in
your
record.
address? And I'll-
One by one in black and white. Since I'm
She's
over
gonna
here.
take your address.
What's your address?
19600 Northwest 84th Avenue, Hialeah, Florida. 015.
And it says, how much do they say, $5?
Yeah, but now find out that she said that I skipped one of my payments.
I'll look into it and
And
find
I
out.
have a credit of $397. I have the paper. I sent it to her too.
Okay, I'll look into it and find out.
The other thing is the blasting. I know it's gonna be another meeting, but my driveway is sink because of that. I've been replacing my roof twice already because of the blasting. The wood have been separated twice. I just did it. And I asked Ernesto and the association for the permit. They gave it to me. I did a new roof. But it's still, so they sent me a letter. She sent me a letter that I have to redone my driveway. I called several companies.
Extension given.
Yeah, I called different companies. They told me, you know what? We can do it to you, but we don't even give you 1 month of warranty because the wrinkle, everything's gonna sink back again. If you go all the property that we have around, everybody, you do the sideway now, in a year, it's already messed up. So why to spend $12,000 or $15,000 in something that next year I have to fix it again? So I spoke to somebody over the phone and said, if you, in black and white, telling me that I'm gonna do it according to Miami-Dade County, it's gonna be approved by them, and if you sink, you pay for it. Because
Right, but
I can't.
I remember I emailed you guys and said I was no longer gonna violate for the driveways until the blasting situation was taken
The
care of.
blasting
And you guys
yesterday,
approved
it was longer than ever before. I got 2 little girls and they cry every time they feel that shake.
So I did the violations without knowing about the blasting.
They
When it was
cry.
brought to
My little
attention,
girl
I believe it was
crying.
you.
My wife, she have video crying.
I believe it was
11
you.
o'clock, between 11 and 11:03, boom, that earthquake. So, you know, I've been here since 2001. My property is super because when I move over here, they have the plumbing is by plastic, by the company Quest. One of the pipes on the second floor blast. It was a total loss, the house, so I have to redone the entire property completely inside. So my house is brand new inside. So outside I can't do anything because if I fix it,
I
it'll be
hear
sinking.
that when they're beginning to build the mall, they have to stop the blast.
Well, the primary engineer for that mall is a friend of mine. She lives in Miami Lake. And she say they have been fighting and they couldn't. Because what happened is they made an arrangement with the county ahead of time before when they didn't gonna allow anybody to build in this area.
Yeah, but I believe when they start building the mall, they have
I
to
hope
stop.
so. That's what I'm telling her. That's what I'm telling her. And she say that they have been trying and nothing coming to me. So please, if you see something for my driveway,
Oh,
give me the
no,
sign.
no more. The thing is, when I came in, I didn't know about the blasting. You
Do
made
you
me
have a mail that
aware.
I can fax you? All my payments since I moved over here.
I
And
just
with the
email
credit
now,
also, so you
I'm
can-
looking, because I can pull up the previous management company and see.
Yeah, it
what-
was a guy. I got his name and I have the papers and everything.
Okay, who's next?
Okay, let's, face you over there?
No.
You're fine.
Let's make it even.
Okay.
Every single one is
With regards to the payments, the 128,
I'll pull a previous.
can you just make a blanket for
No, this one,
everybody, you know,
the
that,
previous one.
Yeah, it's 28.
yeah, 128 doesn't,
95.
Yeah, let's make this 128.
Well,
yeah, but they said it's
I
128.
can see you.
No.
Like monkey, the same.
And he just tell them to wipe it out for everybody.
Yeah, yeah.
We have done that.
This year is what's I paid.
We paid, we
Till
continue to pay
December,
the 67.
128.67.
Well, I never did because I was told to do that.
It's okay. Don't have to pay. It's okay, don't worry.
Automatically supposed to take care of it.
Don't worry about it.
Yes.
The driveway?
I have the same issue, so I don't do it anymore. No one gets violations.
I
So
received
that one you're fine.
a letter saying that I am doing with one payment.
Yeah.
I am okay with payments, and I talked to Sydney, I don't know who is Sydney.
That's her right there.
Yeah, I talked to you, and because you used to send a regular letter indicating that you are informed in default with the payments. And when I talked to you by phone, you asked me to send you by mail all my scanned payments. I did it, and I haven't get any response. And a couple of days or 2 days ago, I received a letter indicating that I had to pay again the late payment.
Give me the address again.
8365.
8?
8365 Northwest 197 Terrace.
This is also the payments.
Yes. And I sent you my mail or
Yep, I have your email.
Okay.
I'll look into it myself.
Okay.
And also my driveway needs to be covered with
Any driveway ones I did prior to speaking with him, you can negate. Don't worry about any of the driveway repairs until the blasting is done.
Okay.
Per the board.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sí. El asunto es que me están poniendo ley fee.
Tranquilo,
Ya,
tranquilo.
ok.
Tranquilo, ahora español.
Sí, me están poniendo ley fee.
¿De qué mes?
De febrero de este mes. O sea, para el mes que viene, ya yo lo pagué para no tener más problemas con la señora Cassandra. Porque
No,
hoy,
Cassandra ya no está en la sociedad, ella no la manda.
yo acabo de hablar hoy por teléfono.
Yo también
Y mi hija también. Y fue algo bien, vaya, súper asqueroso, porque no tiene lo
Es que ya no es la manager de aquí.
Pero eso fue hoy a las 5 de la tarde.
Ya no es la manager.
Bien, gracias.
Cassandra me.
Oh, Cassandra.
Cassandra.
Ay, yo entendí Sandra. Cassandra es la secretaria de ella.
Bueno, Cassandra fue súper nasty.
Ok.
Súper nasty. Yo le estoy tratando de explicar que si estos son algunos de los emails que hemos intercambiado, que si aquí reciben el día 6, y si yo no tengo culpa que si el banco les paga el día 13, el día 12, el día 11, yo lo mandé en tiempo, ¿por qué tengo que pagar un ley? Ella me dice que entonces, que fue porque yo lo mandé al banco porque ellos no ponen ese recibo. Yo le mando fotos de un montón para atrás, de otros. Y entonces dice que ella no sabe quién estampa porque la oficina de ella no hace eso. Y ese es el problema, que lo hace. Yo lo estoy mandando el día primero de cada mes.
Ok, y esto es lo que te nos dio.
No, eso es lo que yo saco. La foto del banco, se los mando a ella me dice, no importa, esto tienes que pagar el efectivo. Sí, todo
So if you send it directly.
ese problema empezó en este mes, en febrero. Pero yo nunca he fallado un pago. Nosotros mandamos el 20 tanto de cada mes.
Pero esto el banco lo hace automáticamente.
No, yo se lo mando a la dirección con el yo lo mando al board.
El banco ya ellos lo cobraron al banco esta fecha.
Si eso tiene puesto ese puño ahí y ellos lo pasan electrónico, eso lo tiene que poner la oficina, no el banco. Yo llamo a mi banco y dice mi banco, ellos cobran electrónico. ¿Cómo crees que yo te voy a poner un estampa? Y esa mujer se me ha puesto.
They are charging fees for that.
No, what happened was he sent it to the office. The office does not process payments, and I apologize for Cassandra, because no one is allowed to speak to you anyway, other than, with respect. So he sent it to the office. The front desk is gonna open that check, say, oh, it's a payment, stamp it that it was received at the office. We do not process payments. Put it in an envelope and send it to the bank.
But in the check, that's address.
Señora, yo hablo con la bookkeeper de la compañía de management hoy mismo.
Sí.
Y yo dije que toda gente que ellos tengo late payment notice por noviembre, diciembre, enero y febrero, que antes está pagando normal, que no son atrasados $1,000,000, no, que yo ya dijiste a ellos la orden de hoy que saca todo este ley fee.
We're gonna get
reimbursed because I had the
Yeah,
same
they-
problem,
oh,
2 months.
No, they have.
They didn't submit
No,
my paperwork.
yo da órdenes.
But today, pay the fee, today,
I pay.
pay the fee,
Well,
yeah, because they don't let you.
Ellos
You have to pay.
necesitan.
Okay, no hay problema con eso.
Ellos necesitan darte, yo desde un crédito
Ok,
por
bien.
todo este dinero, ellos necesitan mandar la mes que viene un statement que dice que tú tengo crédito de tanto cantidad y tú sacas esta cantidad de su cheque por la próxima
Hoy
mes.
yo hice también el AutoPay,
Yo
para
da-
pagar automático.
yo da-
Todos los días.
Y otro sí, ella va a venir así.
Sí,
And I
porque
porque ella sabe, yo le pedí a ella
No,
el teléfono de su jefe, email, everything, y me dice que tenía que enviarle a ella para ella pasarlo. Yo le dije, sí, te voy a mandar a ti una queja tuya, no la vas a pasar.
Ya le dijimos a
Piensa.
ella, ya le dijimos.
Mira,
Es la razón, no tengo la queja.
su dirección.
Okay, 2 minutes.
Okay, what's
I issued a letter for my.
I need your
my
address.
blue card,
I
my
need your
roof,
address.
for the management company. And still, I didn't get a bill of the claim for my roof. That my roof leaking after Irma hurricane.
Yes.
Somebody tell me, still this company, United Company, is the name of the management company?
Yes.
United.
Sí, de manager.
Okay. Still in the middle of the claim for my roof.
No, this is 827 Norwest.
When
Okay.
you submitted the paperwork for your roof?
Because I had a claim.
Okay.
My roof is leaking after Hurricane
Uh-huh.
Irma. Okay, I received a picture, no letter from the management company,
Oh, yes.
saying,
199.
no, it's a no
I'll make sure that-
violation. Y como está, I am in the middle of the my
Yeah,
claim
Yeah,
with
just
my
send her
insurance
an
company.
email, just send her an email, and let her know
You're
that,
with
that's an
I will put
hour.
email.
Yeah, send an email, I have
No
the same
tenía
issue.
la misma
Because I got a
preocupación.
letter
So I don't have the, in the letter, I didn't find the
a todo el
email.
mundo.
Call the office.
Todo el mundo.
Call the office.
Yo sabía
What's your
que
address?
eso va a cambiar.
I'll take care of it.
Entonces, en noviembre yo cambio la cosa.
24,
Porque la eso viene después. Y
200
alguna gente sigue pagando la vieja compañía.
Can't you just give him the email address, a piece of paper, so he didn't have to call the office?
Para ya
I'm gonna take care of it.
auto pay y todo.
Okay, so you have your insurance
No,
claim.
no te preocupes.
I'll take care of it.
Ya yo
Yo voy a
recuerdo.
AutoPay, everything. Folks, is there anyone else has, please?
Okay. Hace alrededor de 3 semanas recibí una carta diciendo que tengo la asociación 954. Aquí están todos los pagos que de hecho que se los presenté a aquel señor hace 2 semanas ya. Llamé a la famosa Cassandra. La Cassandra me dice, le digo, mira, yo estaba mandando la dirección. Yo no voy a esa dirección. Así de esa forma. La vuelvo a llamar, le pido el email para mandarle toda la información. Le mando la información, ella no ha recibido información ninguna. No le interesa nada.
She could have a lien on the house from before, we don't know. We don't
What's the
know.
address I can find out?
Su dirección,
8240 Norwest 201.
8240 Norway.
201.
¿Ah?
Oh, that was 200
Street.
8240 Northwest 201st Street.
Llamo a la famosa asociación esa de ustedes, pregunto por la señorita, nadie la conoce a mí. La única que conocen es a la Cassandra, que no resuelve ningún problema.
8240 Northwest 281st Street. And it's a payment issue?
Yeah, here's all our payments from last September through.
I can pull it up. I don't know. I'll pull it up.
Ella va a buscarla.
Sí, pero espero que haya alguna respuesta porque ya llevo en esto 3 semanas viviendo aquí, trayendo los papeles, hablando con Cassandra y eso, y me siguen llegando más cartas a mi casa diciendo que debo esa cantidad de dinero. Entonces no creo
En 3
que...
semanas, ¿cuánto cartas mandó?
3 cartas me han llegado.
En 3 semanas?
En 3
Well, you gotta stop that.
3 semanas me han
She
llegado
says
3 cartas
in
diciendo que
3
debo
weeks,
one letter for...
they send her 3 letters that she, maybe that's a scam. That they send her 3 letters in 3 weeks that she owes
No, it
$900.
can be a scam because when I enter in the association management, he say I owe that money. It can be a scam.
And why would they send 3 letters in 3 weeks? No, you may get a letter a month. If If they're getting 3 letters, they're doing something wrong, for sure.
No, but he's doing
we'll
something
figure it
wrong
out.
for sure, because how you can send a letter after 9 months to somebody or 7 months to somebody like they know them.
Right, but we're a new management company, we can't speak to, but we can't speak to what the previous management company didn't do. So when we get the information as the new management company, we're gonna run the numbers, and if we see something is off, we're gonna send you a letter. It's not that we waited 9 months.
Yeah,
We've only been a part of
you
it.
guys getting money from me from 3 months, past 3 months or 5 months.
Right,
Because
but
this problem is not the last 4 months. They said I no pay
Yo creo que sí se
like in September, August, July, the
Right.
four months, you guys get the money from me. The problem is over your
Well, then you
fault.
have to send proof of the.
right, and that's the thing is, we don't get the information from the previous management company the minute
Why
we
you
start.
pay 4 months after to
But-
send this paper?
But what I'm trying to explain to you is, we started in November. They just sent that information to us, so what we were sending to you originally was only from our point going forward. Yes, so if you paid November, December, January, February with us, you're fine with us. They're going to now send the information from previous. It takes them sometimes 3, 4, 5 months to get us any information. So what we're sending you originally is all that we know. Now that they've sent us, they say, oh, she owed us money. We didn't know. So now they send it to us, we're like, okay, let's look and see. Okay, now we're gonna send you a letter saying, this is the information that we just got, saying that back when they were managing, you owed money then. Now it's become known to us, we're gonna have to let you be aware that this is the money that's showing owed. But in the beginning, we had nothing. So as far as we were concerned, you didn't owe anything, you were paying on time, you're fine. Then 3 months later, when we get the information from the previous management company, you're not the only one. There's a lot of people that we got that information, they're like, they missed the payment here, and they never sent you a letter, or they never sent that people a letter.
We made a decision.
I'm gonna pull the records, and go through it. I can't tell you until I look at it.
Okay, so let's take a look at her.
We're not painting it, we like.
Okay, that's one thing,
I already made this, we made a decision about that.
On a red fence.
We haven't, we don't, here's not red, it's wood, right? It is, we want natural wood.
Did they go through violations already?
It's already red.
They're talking about it.
No, violations, did they go?
Violations?
Yeah.
Yes. What would you call it?
I can't believe. Do I have any violations left?
before we
What's your difference?
8230.
Sydney,
One second. 8230.
Northwest, 199th Street. I sent you an email with the pictures of the, what was it, for the room?
Oh, then yeah, I would have pulled those out, but I'll double check. And I should have it, you sent me an email, and I have it, and I'll respond to it, but yeah.
Is there any more? It's like-
I will look and see.
okay, Sydney, that's one more question I have for you. In reference to the grievance committee, there's a lady here that I sent her the email. She's, I think the third one that needs to be a.
Right, but we had 3 and we had to get rid of 1.
Then don't. Are you overriding somebody on behalf of me?
No, we lost
They got rid of that person.
one. We lost one. We didn't get rid of them, we lost
The
one.
last one, okay. So, she is here.
Okay.
So, do you have a quorum now? You have.
As long as we have 3, I will have to.
I send you her information.
When did you send it to me? Because unfortunately.
Last week? Monday?
Doesn't understand that. I'm always behind in my emails, always. So the best way is to call me. If I don't respond, it means that I have not had the opportunity to look at it. Because remember, I'm out on property all day.
Could you take her information,
Yes.
please?
She's on the thing and.
I will confirm.
Talking about the violations?
I will confirm that we have.
Okay.
Is my name there? Okay.
What's your?
Now we have 3.
It's a long name.
Maybe we have 4. Excuse me, I'd like to make a motion, okay, before we finish the meeting. I would like to make a motion that we remove Ernesto from the board as long as he's not in the country. Because I don't want this to happen again. We don't need him on the board if he's not living here,
Okay,
And although I really like Ernesto and he did a really good job, and he's gonna be mad at me for making this motion.
Okay.
I wanna make the motion, we can just vote, we don't have to discuss it, we can just vote. I'd like to make a motion, do I have a second to remove Ernesto from the board?
I second.
When we vote, we'll just vote.
Okay.
3 votes, okay, Ernesto is removed from the board.
Okay. This guy, he's willing to join the board.
I would make a motion that we let him join the board, no?
But the president, he was president of the board.
We just need to, she needs to make sure that he's up to date on his dues.
Now I'm just trying to figure out what the person's gonna replace her as a board. He's out of the country. It's just a board.
Yeah, it's not, it's still the house.
So what you're talking about, I thought they were actually. But it makes sense.
But he's not. This is for Hawaii.
We're making a decision. We're gonna leave all the fences natural.
Que tuvo el presidente del board anterior, Carlos Verde.
I don't even have this. This is not
Okay.
out of the.
We are going to.
No, para yo salí para afuera
Yeah,
Yo creo antes que.
antes de.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I know.
Did she have this?
No.
No? Well, we should give it to her.
There you go.
Can I have your email because I think we are paying to the other association. So I am gonna write it to
So you
Just email me and I will get it over to you. We'll check to make sure that everything is up to date. Just be aware.
My house around this week.
Okay, as long as you're up to date, it'll start.
But I give her a
It
copy.
won't start next month. You're already past the time. So it'll start in April as long as you get it. So
So she has it
and I'll
on
explain
notice
everything to
that
you once you send it to me.
I give her a copy.
Oh my God, how?
Can I have a copy, please? I want to read it. I have it.
It shouldn't slow it down. It shouldn't show the. Unless you get other people's. Yes, I did. Then you need to call your bank and have your bank cancel it. So if you got to have a pay
I make a motion to
your
adjourn the
bank,
meeting.
then you need to, what time is it?
All in favor? Yeah.